Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. N-I-C-K mumbling is right here. People in the house, put them hands in the air. Cause if you don't vote, then we don't care. 1, 2, 3 times 2 to the 6. Jonesing for your fix of that damn politics mix. So when I fudge you at punk, shut the fudge up and back the fudge up while we fudge this track up. On your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up. Retort in, now retort out. Hands up now, hands down. Back up, tell me what's in for the Dutch now. Republicans in now, Democrats out. Guns up now, hands down. Rock up, tell me what you gotta vote now. Dabbling, 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 dabbling. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. Come on. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. 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 You wanna mess with dabbling in politics? You can't mess with dabbling in politics. Listen, we debate it all every week Saturday night, and this YouTube thing right here. Yo, we're doing it all the time. So you better get some better views and get fame up all your time. So we got the gang set, so don't complain yet. 24/7, never begging for a rain check. Old school dabble is blasting out the political shit. The back and forth shit, put bounce in the dabble pit. On your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up. Retort in, now retort out. Hands up now, hands down. Back up, tell me what you're gonna touch now. Republicans in now, Democrats out. Guns up now, hands down. Working like up, tell me what you're gonna vote now. Dabbling, 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 dabbling. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. Come on. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. 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 Hey ladies, where you at? Hey fellas, where you at? And the dabblers that don't give a fuck, where you at?
Welcome. Oh, look at us. I fucked this up. There we go. Welcome to Dabbling in Politics. I am OG Mumbling Nick. With me, as always, is Mr. Liquid Cryptid. Looks like he's live from Mars today. How we doing?
Yeah, we're live on Mars. The weather's nice out today.
Beautiful. Suck on that, Elon.
Oh, shit. I hit my mic.
Uh-oh.
I am under the dish, so...
Okay.
There's a very large dish radio dish right above me.
I love how every time you come on, you look just a little different. It's very, very nice.
Well, I found this avatar. I like it better.
Yeah,
the hands are less pointy, jaggedy.
Nice.
It's a little more cartoony, but...
Yeah, looks good.
And this one actually has a whole lot of options. I got a bunch of stuff I can wear, like these glasses. And I wish this eye, left eye, right eye. Right eye. I wish the right eye would stay open. It keeps wanting to animate. That's why I put the glasses on, because the eyes they just go wild all the time.
Do you wear glasses in real life, or is this just?
I do.
Okay, very good. Ooh, there we go. Got a little info from him for once. Nice, fantastic.
Yeah, I do wear glasses.
Absolutely. I probably should when I read, but I'm getting to that point at work. I need to bust out the flashlight on the phone a lot to read certain things that other people seem to be able to read just fine. So I think I'm getting there a little bit.
I'm getting there too.
So
we're not getting any younger, and the eyes are fading. Yeah, I was looking at a monitor like the other day. One of the kids I work with, we write scripts.
Yeah,
and he's got his the Visual Studio open. And I'm like looking at it like, you can read that? It's like, yeah. I was like, dude, that's tiny. How can you read that? It is so small. He had the type letter, the letter height like way down.
Jeez, yeah.
Or the lettering size is like way down. I'm just like, dude, I'm old.
Without giving too much away, my department, we kind of manufacture data storage units for companies. So a lot of the servers have they're very expensive, so they have serial numbers on them, and trying to read those sometimes when you're putting it all together, it's like the 6s and 8s I can't tell apart the 5s and 8s, the 3s. They all look just blends together. I can't fucking read it. But the 20-year-old next to me seems to be able to fucking read it just fine. So even the 30-something-year-olds can read it. So I'm guessing my eyes are just, like not going, but when it comes to small things, I'm struggling these days. So.
Oh yeah, I had to get some of those jeweler's glasses that kind of flip down.
Yeah.
Magnifiers.
Magnify it. Yeah.
For like really small stuff. Like I got an instruction thing the other day. Like the type was just like so small. I had to break these things out, and I'm just like, God, I'm old.
Yeah, happens to us all.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, this week it seems like the big story was tariffs, stock market, which it's kind of a boring topic. I think we both agree on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I don't think either of us know enough about it to comment on it. Not that that's stopping anybody else from
right. Yeah,
doing that. Is like I'm pretty sure 99% of the people that have an opinion on it don't even know how any of this shit works or what's
no,
going. And I'm one of them.
yeah.
So,
The best I'm doing is I'm sure, like me, you found a few people out there that you kind of trust with a lot of things. So I'm kind of going off of them, hoping they know what the fuck they're talking about, because I I'm not an expert on it. So, and I tried covering on my own Anthony Cumia talking about it, and I found myself bored to death. So it's not.
yeah, even
not
Ant can't make it
Right.
interesting.
So we are going to watch something we were going to watch a couple weeks ago, but I think we ran out of time. It was Brian Karem. I believe this was roughly a month ago.
It was about a month ago, yeah.
Yep. On the on oh my god, I'm blanking on her name. Help me out.
Stephanie Miller.
Stephanie Miller. I could just look at the title of the video if I
Or
wanted.
you could do that.
Yeah. But yeah, Stephanie Miller show. So which one Drunk Stuttering John used to real quick. Did you watch any of Dabble House this weekend?
Yeah, I'm still catching up on it though. It's just so much going on. I watched most of it. I still need to watch Rico, the final Rico, and the I need to watch the final Rico and the wrap up show still.
Gotcha. So I didn't.
I guess I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You watch it. Yeah, I was just
I guess all the really good stuff is on that final Rico.
Rico. I'm sure they were saving it for themselves and for the. I'm sure they gave WATP some good stuff, but kept the really juicy stuff for themselves for the end there. Yeah.
But yeah, I heard you say in your last video that you heard good things. Yeah, I was kind of worried about the having basically an entire weekend about these tapes, because the last time DabbleCon they weren't really that interesting. It was like, okay, whatever. Oh no, these are spicy. Because I think these are Kate Meany actually, trying to pull stuff out of John now. Like she was actually trying to get dirt on him. Like last time, I think she was just recording because he's being a creep.
Right. Yeah.
But this is like her like trying to get him to admit stuff, and it worked. It was oh my god,
jeez.
As I said, I'm already blown away. I still haven't seen the real spicy ones that they have for Rico.
Nice.
Or I haven't listened to them.
I caught they went. Might have been the wrap up show. They did something at like midnight-ish last night. I just happened to catch it, and they were kind of going over some of the stuff that was in the tape, so it sounded kind of juicy. And then I saw people that actually watched them on X, pretty much raving that they were way better than the first. The problem with the first time, and I'll cut Shuley some slack, is he did get bugged by people like us. I'll say myself, but a lot of people in the chat like, hey, play. So he kept leaking. So by the time DabbleCon came, we had heard 90% of it already, and
90% of the good stuff,
right? And it wasn't like so I didn't even bother this time, but maybe I should have reversed it and not got it last time, but got it this time. But I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I was just like, dude, just like, dude, you need a policy. John needs a policy of see, I have a policy of when I drink, I turn off social media because I have a history of writing crazy things when I'm drunk on social media, and then waking up the next day and looking at it and going, fuck.
I think that's a lot of us.
So John needs to like throw his phone away whenever he gets drunk.
I can't imagine being 60 and trying to get with a 25-year-old. Like I'm like only 20 years, not only, but I'm 20 years older than Kate, and she's a kid to me. And John's got fucking almost 15 years on me, and I don't know. I don't know how he doesn't see her as
Yeah, I'm around the same age. I mean, hey, listen. I hope when I'm 60, I'm hot enough that the 24-year-olds I
right.
don't have to chase.
Yeah,
They'll just come at me.
I get
But I would even right now, as you said, I would never chase down a 24-year-old.
no.
But if some smoking hot chick came over, walked into my room right now and said, "We're going for it," I'm sorry, Nick.
No, I know what you're saying. That's a different. I mean, I'm married, so I'm out of this completely. But yeah, I'm guessing with John, where I will cut him a little slack. I'm sure at the height of his Stern fame, he was getting. I have no doubt he was slinging ass that he shouldn't have been able to get. So
Oh,
when you're used to
absolutely.
that, you probably think that's going to work for the rest of your life, and it's obviously gets to a point it really doesn't. But if he was just a
Yeah, and him
little,
being an absolute slob
that's what
probably
I was going to say. If he
doesn't
was a
help at
little
all.
less little less disgusting, maybe he could do it. But
I mean, you saw the inside of his house that lady
oh,
KB. Was that KB or was that
it was mommy, FK
oh, his
Mammy.
mommy? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, his mommy.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
I'm just looking at that going, how can you live like? I mean,
dude.
yeah, everybody says, okay, he's been coddled by, his wife and his mom and stuff like that. He's always had somebody cleaning up after him and stuff. But still, when something's dirty.
Yeah, I can't. I
You know
remember,
how to operate a broom.
like, I got my first apartment at 19. So when I was dating, when I was 19, 20, 21, I I was not nowhere near a slob as John. I was I had clothes on the floor, shit like that. You know what I mean? I didn't have fucking
Oh,
filth
same. I had
everywhere.
dirty dishes in
Yeah,
the sink, clothes
but
on the floor, but it was never,
right,
never like
like
that.
that. And if a girl
I mean,
wanted
it
to
wasn't
come in,
clean, but it wasn't like that.
yes, yes. And I would never, and even though my place didn't look nearly as bad as his, I wouldn't let a girl in unless I was like, hold on a second, throw some clothes in the hamper, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? I can't believe he let her in like that.
Dude, I wouldn't even let my friends in
No,
for
right?
something like that.
Yeah. Oh my
I would be
god.
embarrassed for family members to come
Yep.
over if my place looked like that.
God damn, dude. And it sucks. It seems like a half decent looking place. Not like I mentioned,
Yeah.
but it seems like relatively new. Like it could be nice if you didn't. Oh Jesus, pick up some. When you're single, it doesn't take a lot. You know what I mean?
No, you
To
can just
stick.
clean up,
Yeah.
just, take a minute every day to just, like, clean
Yep.
something. That's kinda what I do, and I mean, shit, I even got a robot vacuum now,
Real
so I don't
nice.
even do that anymore.
Yeah, I got all hardwood where I am, which is like place before this was all carpet. And I much prefer not having I prefer sweeping and mopping to just fucking vacuuming all the time. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
all right, I guess that's enough stuttering John talk. I'll have to get. I hope some clipper
Well,
starts posting stuff, so I don't have to like
uh,
dig down and get this shit. But we'll see.
yeah, full disclosure, I did go live earlier this week,
Okay.
with the, John, when he did his little, bit about how he knew
Oh,
Kate
yeah, 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 yeah.
was, copy recording him, and, I fucked it all up, but anyway, I'm gonna start that was supposed to be the start of my dabbling in the verse.
Awesome. We'll have to.
Well, we'll talk about not I didn't want it to be I want it to be, like, sorta like we have dabbling in politics.
Yeah.
It's kind of Dabbleverse adjacent. It's not
Gotcha.
really specifically about the Dabbleverse. It'll be the same thing. It'll just be about lolcows that I, am interested in, and, well, of course, right now is John, but at some point, I might, get back into checking out other favorite locales.
Mr. Steel Toe is pretty popular these days.
Dude, he is so damn boring. Like,
Uh,
the only interesting thing about him is the end, is
yeah.
the goal. And even that, I'm starting to get burnt out on by people are just, who is it? Real media player,
Yeah.
clips up all the Only Goals show, where just clips up Aaron talking about the goal, and even that's starting to get boring. At first, I thought it was fucking hilarious. Now, yeah, I'm even getting bored by that. I'm just like, God, he's so boring.
Yeah, it's funny. I still never watch him, but when I do that show with Eckel every week, it's just like he picks like the top 5 or 6 clips, the week from the Clippers, and it's been a lot of steel toe heavy lately, especially with John gone, and I'm lucky because I usually go in blind. I don't know, I don't watch him or even like a lot on him, so it's usually the first time I'm seeing these clips, so I get a little out of it because he seems like either it's an act or he's pretty full of himself. I don't know. People calls himself the toe, and I don't know, but yeah, I get what you're saying. I couldn't watch probably a whole show dedicated to him. I'm just watching like 1 or 2 clips a week, and fucking laughing at the dude. But
Oh yeah, was that a couple years ago? And he was like in Good with Carl and WATP.
yeah, it's funny how this
And he
shit
was like,
changes.
and he was on this side of the Dabbleverse, on the fun side of the Dabbleverse,
Yeah,
and for what, like a couple weeks anyway. I watched one of his shows and I was just like, this seems more like something that Carl should be actually featuring on his show,
yeah,
not something that we should be telling people to go watch, because it's just boring. I'm just like, dude, is trying to be radio edgy, I guess.
yeah,
I could say.
yeah.
I would say he's radio edgy, and it's not working anymore. That doesn't work.
The clip we watched this week, he was talking about his plea deal, and he kept referring to himself as a fuck boy. Like, yeah, I apologize, that was a fuck boy thing to do. It's like, dude, you're not a fuck boy. Like, you're not some dude slinging ass all over the place. I don't know who
Well,
you're
he might
trying to
be. I
fool.
don't know, man. He
I
cheated
guess.
on his last wife with April, and
Yeah.
then married April, and then I guess, and then now has like slam pieces now, like immediately. Like I think he is one of those guys that literally cannot be without a woman.
Probably, yeah. Oh, God. All right. Well, we'll have to. Yeah. Afterwards, I'll stop throwing the link to your stream in the comments like I do everything else. That's awesome, man.
And I'll shoot you any links or anything. I just wanted to throw one up real quick, and just to
Yeah, just to get it going.
figure out how I
Yeah.
want to get it done. And the very first thing I did was going over the video. It goes up. I go to re-watch, what I'm doing, and the video that I'm watching didn't have any audio.
Oh,
I forgot to turn on
no.
desktop. I forgot to turn on the thing so I'm sitting there talking basically to myself with I tried to cut it up. I tried to edit it so that like it would come through, like at least be a video that I could
Yeah.
get together. But that didn't work because I was using this avatar. You see my whole body. I'm in front of a screen. So it is always, when you clip to the next one, all of a sudden I'm jumping over here, and then next thing you know, it's over there. It's not like a headshot here where you can sort of get around. So like people are sort of used to the jump cuts.
Yeah.
Especially if I was to like sit like this, I could do jump cuts and it'd be fine. But this, I'm actually like walking around in front of the screen. I found a thing where I can like control the screen and stuff, and it's a really cool thing. It's
Nice.
It's basically what I want to do when I finally
Get it all
working
together.
on my stuff.
Yeah, I figure I'm trying. We're trying to figure things out as we go. I think this show it's starting to lean more towards politics, but stuff that instead of being, sometimes it's what happened during the week, but a lot of times it's just what the Dabbleverse might find interesting. With Ojeda and Karem and all that shit. Then we'll try and get back to the Ojeda show, but then that's shit I'm doing at like 3 or 4 in the morning. It's just gonna be shit that I'm interested in that the Dabbleverse probably isn't, but just whatever. So
You're not happy with Bill Maher, and a lot of people aren't.
what's funny is I haven't been happy with Bill for years, and I've thought about like doing something on him, but I know one of the guys I watch, he a lot of times wasn't playing Bill's clips because like HBO was taking them down or whatever. And I noticed he's been playing him lately, but he's been playing him at like time and a half. So I'm like, I'll try it. You know what I mean? Yeah, but Bill's like, I haven't been happy with Bill for about 4 years, but I'm ashamed to say I used to like the guy, even though I knew he was always an arrogant fuck. But
well, he has been slipping more towards the right in the last few years.
Big time.
That's been quite noticeable. Where, 5-6 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, there was very little I could agree with Bill Maher on,
Right.
and now I'm finding myself agreeing with him more and more. So I'm just like, yep, I can see why people hate him. He's like slipping towards the right.
Absolutely. And last night, or not, whatever, Friday night, I think it was the first time I remember him. He kind of referred to himself as a centrist. He never did that before. It was
Yeah, he did
always
in that in that video
clip.
that he made, or in the in
Trump
that
thing.
clip from his show where I talk about the Trump.
Visit. Yeah.
And speaking of which, if we want to start on this thing, you
Let's
can
get this going.
scoot past the beginning. It's just Trump talking about stuff.
Okay, let's see.
I think it's about a minute or so.
Yeah, roughly. There we go. All right. Just
perfect.
whenever you want me to pause, just let me know, and I'll pause whenever I feel it.
You'll probably want to pause a lot.
Hey, Brian!
I said, this is.
I have loved you since the.
There's enough smug in this video to probably physically injure you, so be careful.
Oh, geez, I just did Bill Maher last night. This is going to be smug overload. All right.
First moment Donald Trump hated you. I know. I saw you at DC Sexy Liberal, and I was.
Wait, hold on. Did she just say, "I loved you ever since the first time I found out Donald Trump hated you"?
Yes.
Yeah, I hate
No
it already.
credibility. Okay, who else? Yes, please.
Why, it's journalist extraordinaire Brian Karem.
Hey, Brian!
Journalist extraordinaire.
I have loved you since the first moment Donald Trump hated you. I know. I saw you at DC Sexy Liberal, and I was in your documentary. It was so exciting to see you again.
Oh, it's great to see you again, Steph. And thanks for the
And his audio, man.
I
Look,
can't wait till you see.
Listen to his audio and look at his mic.
Yeah, it doesn't.
He sounds like he's on a damn phone.
Right. It sounds, but he's got the sunglasses on. He made sure of that. Oh my God. I still can't even get over that beginning. I hate people like that. Like, oh, the guy I hate hates you. You're awesome. I don't know anything about you. I just know that. It's like that. I don't know. It's if you want to be a political journalist, that's a joke. That's a joke, you know.
Well, as you are aware, it's something that you've been critical of, especially with pundits on the left, is that sort of attitude.
100%. Yeah. There's
and being smugly superior and having a smug superior attitude over it.
Yeah, that was a huge problem with Karem Ojeda and Stuttering John on that show. It's a huge problem with fucking Bill Maher. It's this smugness, and that's the representation that a lot of people are getting of the left, and it's not fucking good. So I fucking hate these guys. Fucking Christ.
No, it is not good.
No, and I'm sure you probably seen there was that was it not this past Saturday, not yesterday, but the week ago, there was these protests around the country against like Trump, and
the hands-off protest.
The hands-off,
Did you say you were gonna go to the one?
Yeah, and so 2 reasons. Didn't end up going. One, I ended up working anyway, and it actually kind of rained here, but when I looked more into it, because there's going to be another one next Saturday, and my wife wants to go, and I'm like, I don't like. I've been to protests. I like when we're protesting for common sense gun reform, or we're protesting for universal health care. It's like just against Trump. So there's going to be a lot of probably blue, no matter who, Democrats there who I don't agree with. I don't want to stand side by side with them that they just want Trump out just because he's Trump. I don't want to do that.
I did a little bit of looking into it because I was like, what is this about? Because I have no idea. And I looked into it. It's like, and basically I saw somebody describe it as it's one of the organizers, actually. I saw on an interview. It's about whatever you want it to be.
Right.
And I was like, well, that's not okay. So it's about nothing, basically.
Exactly. So I kind of want no part of it, just because like it's not streamlined enough. Like, hey, we're against these policies. You know what I mean? Blah blah blah.
There's no message.
Yeah, it's, hey, do you hate Trump? Come on. It's like, okay, I do hate Trump, but I don't want to just. That's not good enough. I hate fucking Biden, and I wouldn't have gone to a protest just like, hey, I wouldn't go to a fuck Brandon, whatever the fuck it was. Let's go Brandon protest just because I don't like Biden. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's not targeted enough. So yeah, I'm sure I'll be.
Oh yeah, and also what exactly is it going to accomplish when you don't have
absolutely nothing.
Yeah. When you don't have a concise message or exactly what you want to do, it's not going to accomplish anything. You're just getting together with your friends that hate Trump.
Yes, and proving once again that the left sucks at messaging. It's one of my biggest critiques on my side. They suck at messaging. The right is way better, way better.
See the documentary.
Well, first of all, you were saying you have to update almost hourly because this is just beyond comprehension what we've experienced in 3 weeks, isn't it?
Well, yeah, when you watch a freight train running down the hill, it just changes every damn second.
So just real quick, that mic is not on, I'm guessing, right? Like, what the fuck is that?
No, I think that's definitely his. Is he on the laptop? I don't know.
Whatever. Yeah, I don't know if he is.
You
I think
can
it's just
zoom in
the
on his
laptop mic.
glasses there. We could probably say, but he's definitely on a not that mic.
Yeah, I think he is on a laptop. I think I'm seeing the reflection. Oh, God.
So you got to be ready for anything that's going to happen at any moment.
Right.
Brian, I was saying earlier in the show, I so thought of you watching this press conference yesterday. I feel like I've woken up in North Korea some days. I don't know. They've let in all of these right-wing Trump sycophant outlets. Then the question, what was the question to the foreign leader? Do you think Donald Trump is the greatest president ever, or just maybe of the United States, or is he? I mean, I'm like, that's a question.
Well, that's
I don't
been in
remember
every.
that.
They've only had
Anybody
4.
saying that?
Yeah, I mean,
Was that a thing?
I don't remember. I bet it might have been, but she's exaggerating or adding to it.
So
You know what
I
I mean?
never even looked it up. I just
Yeah,
assumed like
I
maybe
don't-
somebody said something to that effect, and she might be exaggerating. Like,
That's my
like
guess.
it was probably more along the lines of, "What do you think of Trump as president of the United States?" You know,
Yeah, it was
something like that.
probably and the
she's
guy
like,
may added at the end, like, do you think he's a great leader? You know, something like that. It was probably what the question. Like, I'm not saying there's definitely, you know, some of these far right outlets are in there, and
yeah.
their questions are softball or they come with a compliment. I'm not saying they fucking don't. And it sucks, but it's up to the rest of the media to do their fucking jobs. And you know what I mean? That's, you know, but I just feel if it was reversed and like MSNBC was throwing a softball towards Kamala Harris, I don't think they would have a problem with it. And that's the shit that bothers me. It's got to bother you
but
both ways. Yeah.
people on the right would,
Right.
which
and
is a lot of like Biden, well, with the exception of Ducey, was a lot of the Biden administration. It was like, what kind of ice cream do you like? And then Ducey
Yeah.
would actually ask a real question.
Right. It's the problem is on both sides, and they're trying to act like it's just on one, and it's not. You know.
Oh, it's a
Briefings.
press conference in the White House. It's that they're all like that.
Yeah, and
It's really mostly you go in there, you get some communications, and then you leave. Like, asking questions is probably should just be considered secondary, honestly.
yeah, and we all know no matter who the president is, it's pretty much PR. You're not gonna get
Exactly.
real answers anyway. So
He claims that he's available for questions all the time. He's not, and he keeps people out. The way it's working now, your White House press pass means nothing. You get into the compound, but you're not going to see him unless you're in the pool, and you're not going to be in the briefing and called on unless you're one of those in the front row or one that she likes. And
Right.
yeah, you're right. There are a lot of.
So what's funny here is this kind of reminds me of, not to link it back to the Bill Maher thing, but Brian seems upset that he no longer has the access he had with Biden. And I think Bill Maher is happy that he has access. Like, I don't even think I may have forgot to even say this last night when I made that video, but someone that followed Bill Maher, he tried to get Obama on his show for like 8 years, and he finally got him on during the lame duck session, like after he was elected and before Trump took office. And Bill, I'll give Bill credit. He actually used to have a decent joke on that because he gave like $1 million or whatever to the campaign. And he's like, Obama's acting like I loaned him $1 million. I can't, get a hold of whatever. But he didn't have access to Obama and Clinton. Trump gave him access. So these guys just, they try to act like it's not it, but that's it. Brian doesn't have the access he had. So he's upset about it.
Let me clarify something. Brian never had the access that he's talking about. He was like, he was one of the he was part of the White House, press corps. I think it's the press corps.
Yeah.
And then you got like the press pool, which can actually like go in to the press meetings. Brian only ever got into the room twice, and that was just because somebody wasn't there and he was closer to the door. So Brian has never had the access that he claims. And also, just because you have a press pass doesn't mean you get to go hang out in the White House press corps.
Right.
And Brian seems to think differently than that. But yeah, he's only been in twice. I think he's only asked one question, and it was that one lame question. It was so profound, I forgot what it was.
Yeah, I remember the one time because I think did he talk about it on John's show? He talked. I saw it somewhere when he talked about getting in because no one, he was closer to the door. No one, someone didn't show or whatever it was. But I didn't know that was a regular thing for the poor guy. Didn't even have
No. He was never in the room.
Reporters that are in that room going, gosh, before I ask you a question, you mind if I kiss your buttocks for a few minutes and then tell you what a great guy Donnie is, and then I'll ask you a question that means nothing, says little, and we'll go on with our pep rally.
Yeah.
The press secretary is merely a pep rally cheerleader. Donald Trump is at extended rallies whenever he attends the press, and he's been in front of the open press only twice, I think, and that was.
All right. I am no Trump fan, but if you really going to start criticizing how often he was in front of, I think Biden was hidden for the final.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
Biden was never in front of the press.
That was a big thing, and we know why. The guy had fucking some sort of dementia going on there, and
he was in steep and rapid decline. But of course, one thing was funny is Brian was actually on John's show when Biden stepped back from running, and they were literally, when the tweet came up or when the post came up on X that he's stepping down, they were literally talking about how cognitively adept and great the whole sharp as a tack conversation. They were literally saying that Biden is not doesn't have any mental problems or decline at all.
They have no credibility. That was part of the reason John thought I was MAGA, because I used to bring up during those shows, I'm like, in a very gently way, like, hey man, Biden, he was, when he was debating Bernie at those rallies in 2020, he was having fucking issues. He actually did okay with the one-on-one things, but when there was a bunch of people running, I remember he didn't know where the fuck he was during those fucking debates. And there they were 4 years later. He's got to be way worse, and they're acting like there's no fucking issue. It's disgusting. You can't. It's even leaking out.
It was right there.
Yeah, it was obvious. It was obvious. It's not always age. Like, I know I'm a Bernie guy, but whatever. Bernie has terrible posture, but his brain is still there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
he actually is really sharp, still really sharp.
Still sharp.
I'm sure not as much as he used to be. I mean, we all get on and we all slow down. But I mean, shit, my grandfather, he died when he was 82, and he was like really sharp and right on for his entire life. So yeah, it's not necessarily age, but Biden definitely has
100%. Yeah. And of course, now it's all leaking out now that he's gone. Like, I saw something the other day on one of the I forget. I don't think it was TYT, but it was another one that Biden, the staff, now that it's over, well, let's write the book, let's leak it out. Well, we were hiding the whole fucking time,
Yeah, and that really lets people trust you.
100%, 100%. Yeah, unreal.
I know I only trust my media sources that hide obvious information from me and then leak it later.
Yeah. Oh God. Because I can't remember go on. Sorry. I can't remember the guy's name, but it was He was an author that Trump somehow let like interview people in the White House and whatever the first time he was president. And he had these recordings of Jeffrey Epstein that were kind of, not like, they were just kind of salacious, like him saying he was really good friends with Trump and blah, blah, blah. And he like had them since like 2017 or something. And he like released them just days before the fucking election. And it was like, what? Where the fuck was it? Where was this dude? Like, why don't you release it when you have it? It's like, oh, I want to sell this book. I'm going to put the book out right before the election. And it's like, you're supposed to be a reporter. Like, who the fuck's going to trust you? You know what I mean? You're holding shit.
Exactly.
And so then nobody listened to him because he fucking held it. Even me, I was like, all right, dude, fuck off. I can't even trust you because if what you have is real, you held it for like fucking 7 years to sell a book. So fuck off. Yeah.
And is it real?
Right.
Now the question
Yeah.
is it even real? Like you just said, if you've had it this whole time, is it even real? I mean,
Yeah.
especially, it goes along the lines with, everything that seems to come out. Well, actually, about most politicians, but a lot of stuff would always come out about, lately, the last 10 years against any kind of a conservative or Republican candidate for anything. All of a sudden, 30 years ago, he was did something bad with a woman somewhere that come out now just before
Yeah.
they're elected or something, and it's just like, dude, go away.
Oh, that reminded me. I'll get this out real quick. We'll get back to it.
Yeah.
One of the ideas I had, and we'll talk about it later. But
Yeah.
do you know Ryan Grimm, the reporter? He used to write for The Intercept. I don't know if you
No,
might not know
do
him.
not.
Okay,
No.
so he's kind of like the kind of reporter journalist I would like to be. Not hiding the fact he leans left, but he'll call out the left. So he was the first one to kind of report on when Kavanaugh was like Dr. Ford was the woman that supposedly Kavanaugh may have allegedly sexually assaulted in high school or whatever, and
Yeah.
Feinstein was holding it to try and like throw it as like a last minute thing. Well, Ryan Grimm reported on it, and the Democrats, they went with it because he found like other old evidence, it's all circumstantial, but found it. Well, he was also and the Dems loved him, but then he was the reporter that kind of broke the Tara Reid story, which was the woman who claims that Biden sexually assaulted her,
Right.
and Dems were shitting all over her. So he wasn't legit. Sorry, he was legit when he broke news on Kavanaugh, but he wasn't legit when he broke news on fucking Biden. It just shows you how fucking full of shit it is. But right, what I'm getting at is it kind of be fun to like I'll look into sometime, like how the same guy broke a story against the Republican president, then broke one against the Democrat president, both sexual fucking things, and it's like they side with it one time and don't side with it the other just because what it goes against. But
apparently being a reporter can be dangerous depending on what you're reporting these days.
Yeah, like I even remember the Tara Reid stuff. Katie Halper has like a podcast, but it's kind of progressive. Her and Ryan Grimm, because he's also kind of progressive, they were trying to get mainstream media to cover the Tara Reid story, to break it. They didn't want to be the ones to break it because they knew Biden and them would be like, oh yeah, it's the Bernie left, you know what I mean? But of course, the mainstream media wouldn't touch it because they didn't want to go after Biden. So it just shows how the corruption works. They had no problem breaking the Kavanaugh stuff from them, but they didn't want to break the Tara Reid stuff. So
absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah. And let's not be
leaving the White.
Sorry, I bumped it.
And let's not be unfair. That's both sides.
100%. 100%.
That's all sides.
Yeah, right. That's what I was saying. Like in reverse, I think even MAGA all of a sudden, or the Trump side was okay with their citing Ryan Grimm when it comes to like Tara Reid, but with the Kavanaugh shit, it was blah blah blah. Oh, our buddy written asylum is here. I didn't even see him. How's it going, pal? No, I had the video up the whole time. I wasn't even.
Oh yeah, he said that a little bit ago.
Yeah, thank you, sir. He once again was trying to promote the show earlier yesterday, so we appreciate you, pal.
See, thanks. Yeah, I call you MAGA all the time behind your back. So I make up for written asylum.
There we go.
House for chopper talk, and he doesn't even do those like he used to.
Yeah. Right.
So they are limiting. They're pretending again. Donald Trump pretends one thing and does another.
I saved this tweet for you, Larry Daniels, who, this is a point I keep making, Brian.
It's not a filter, though.
When Chris Sununu or Joe Scarborough says Trump is answering questions unlike Biden, Lawrence O'Donnell said it best. When the responses to questions at a press conference are lies, they're lies. They're not answers. So Trump never answers questions. He lies. I mean, Elon Musk had to admit he...
All right. Not to defend Trump again, but so when Biden lies or Clinton lies, he wasn't answering. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. He wasn't answering the question. No, he was lying. Just like you can say Trump lies, but he's still answering the questions. He's still there at the press conference,
Yeah, and just to go into that, how incensed were they when Biden lied or when Obama lied? You know what I mean?
Right.
They're probably like, no, that's actually true, or or it doesn't lie as much. But but they're on this. They're in this sphere where basically everything, uh, that the people they don't like can do no right,
Right.
essentially. So like everything's going to be a lie.
Yeah.
And
He
basically,
is-
and notice something here. No examples.
Yeah. No. Just yeah. She's citing somebody else. I forget who she said, but citing another journalist. Saying Trump lied, so he didn't really answer the questions or whatever. But all right,
It's like, well,
let him.
quickly, what was the question and what was the
Yeah,
answer? Oh, she
right.
doesn't know.
Yeah, and I'm not even
She just
saying
knows that Trump lies.
right. I'm not even saying he did. I'm sure because they all lie. I'm sure he lied during it, but you don't know. You're going off what Lawrence O'Donnell or whoever the fuck she said, whatever whatever they said. It's just instead of
Yeah.
doing their own work. It goes back to her saying she loved Brian ever since she found out Trump hated him. She just has
It's like,
that mentality. So the fuck the evidence. Fuck examples. Just fuck Trump, and that's it.
oh yeah, I guess I was wrong about the $50 million of condoms in Gaza. You weren't wrong. You lied, and you lied, and you doubled and tripled down on it, right?
Yeah, well, that's Donald Trump's modus operandi, and that's, of course, Elon Musk, his co-president, his shadow conspirator in the White House. Donald Trump doesn't know how to tell the truth because it doesn't serve his purposes. If it did,
Well, no,
he
he's a
would,
politician.
but at the bottom.
Yeah. I even also it sucks. I mean, I think I'm the lefty, so I hate being the one to say it, but yeah, I think Trump probably lies more than the average president, but the average president still lies a fucking ton. Let's not act like they don't fucking lie,
Well, it's politics in general.
Well, you're right. And something I did like about Trump is at least he called out he brought some of the corruption to the forefront. Granted, he's still corrupt, but I always bring up when he brought up how when he was running for president the first time, he's surrounded by all these establishment Republicans, and he's like, I donated to all these people. I donated to Hillary, and whenever I needed something from them, they were there for me, and that's a broken system. Yeah, and I think he participates in that system, but hey, he brought it. No other politician ever would have said that. They fucking.
Well, that's the system.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. That is the system, and that's the game. You can't win the game by not playing the game, and that's the way it works.
That's how
So,
you.
it's the same thing with his taxes and stuff. He is on Between Two Hacks.
Yeah, so Vampire Hunter is I believe he's producing for Echo these days, so he's doing some on-air stuff too. Written Asylum knows he was there for Between Two Hacks. He's the one that pushed when Echo plugged my shit. He's the one that was like, "Hey, what day and time?" Because it was so I responded with the Sunday blah blah blah. So yeah, Written Asylum is a good supporter, saying he'd rather listen to you and I,
an actual fan,
to talk, rather than Echo and Rochi. I'm sure that was part just to roast Echo and Rochi, but I still appreciate it. So he's always there.
They're difficult to understand.
I always joke that Echo, the three guys he brings on, me, Vampire Hunter, and Rochi, we all have a little mumble to us. So it's like, he wants to sound like the most well-spoken person on his own show. So he's bringing in all these guys that don't always enunciate too well, but it is what it is.
No,
Not that British accent.
I like the pineapple. I'm just giving him shit.
No, I absolutely, I know. We all bust. That's what we do. We bust ball. He's British. That's all they do is bust balls. That dry sense of ball busting.
Bottom line is Donald Trump is all about getting whatever he can for Donald Trump. He's a bully. So he's not going to tell you the truth. And that's one thing that we did a little bit better during his first administration. There was me, Jim Acosta, the AP, Reuters, April Ryan, and I can name, 6 or 7 of us who on a daily basis would pound back against him. Now, notice, none of us are there for this administration. I still have my White House press pass, but I'll be damned.
Oops. So, God, fuck.
Sorry, Brian was talking. I kind of tuned out.
Yeah, I had something I was gonna say, and I just had wet brain when I bumped it the second time. Yeah, he was basically saying that him and some other reporters are the only ones that go after fucking Trump, and we're the ones not invited. I still have my White House press pass, but they won't let me in. But going back to what you said, he was
They never let him in.
Yeah, no matter who was president, he was never fucking in. Thank you, written asylum. I do believe you. I understand. You're very funny with on the chat, whatever. So I never knew whether to take you seriously. But no matter what, you promote the show and you're always here with compliments. So I really do appreciate you, sir. And we appreciate you being here too, Mr. Hunter. We got to talk to Wendy yesterday. I was jealous. I'm never on when Wendy comes on. I'm a big fan.
I haven't really. Let's get through this.
I mean, anywhere near him, they simply don't want it because my first question, I got to tell you, my first question is when I step up, if he's going to ask it, I'm just going to ask him point blank. Why won't you tell the truth to the American people and let the chips fall where they may?
What kind of fucking stupid question is that?
Why are you lying? Because I'm president.
Why do you lie so much? Can somebody show this person out? He's obviously not qualified to be here. He obviously shouldn't be here. I don't know why. Who let him in the room? Take his press pass again.
Yeah, as someone, I care about policy, man. I don't care. Yeah, I'm not happy that the president lies, but every president's fucking lied to me. Every congressman's lied to me. Press him on policy, not just generic. How come you lie?
Well, I mean, that sort of thing goes over well on a Stephanie Miller show,
right? Yeah,
or an Ojeda Live show, or any one of these super lefty, pundits. I'd say, let's just say commentators. Pundit, insinuates knowledge and ability. That's not them; they're commentators. But yeah, they're. I mean, they're all like that. There's grand gestures. Oh, if I was there, I would do this thing. And it's like, well, no, you won't, because, first of all, you're never going to be there. And secondly, it's fucking stupid.
Right. Now I see how Stuttering John got this show. You didn't have to know shit, apparently, to be on Stephanie Miller's political show.
He got kicked off because, he was drunk.
Right? Yeah.
And her audience was constantly, saying that he was a disgusting pig and a misogynist.
Well, I can't disagree with our audience on that one. I'll have to back him up, I guess.
You pointed out in your piece in Salon, Brian, it was announced Musk had a tentative agreement to sell $400 million in armored trucks to the government.
Something.
No one asked about that.
Can you back up?
Rooting out.
Yeah, I'll back it up.
Yeah, back it up a little bit. I was sorry. I was reading Written Asylum's thing, and she actually was like giving some sort of example of something, and I look up and say, "Oh no, she's doing the thing that I said she didn't do." I want to see what it is. But yeah,
dude, that's crazy. Written Asylum, that's fucking crazy.
Never trust.
Not hard to believe is all I was gonna say. Yeah,
never trust politicians. As I said, there was a local radio host out here who tried to primary one of the Republican candidate that was already there, and he was running as a Republican, but the Republican candidate was more of a rhino, so he went to the RNC to get money, get funding, and get backing, and they said, well, they're already backing that guy, and he said, well, I'm actually conservative, and they said, well, basically, what have you done for us lately? Like, this guy donates to us, this guy does stuff for us, but essentially, in order to get on a ballot, you got to be in somebody's back pocket. That's what it comes down to be a politician, unless you got a shit ton of money like Trump, and then gets a strange amount of following that nobody saw coming.
Yeah, there's been a few like progressives who's run for primaries, and they've secretly, I know at least one or two, but they secretly recorded conversations with the higher ups at the DNC, and those people just flat out admit to them, like, yeah, we're backing this guy. We don't really care what the people say because he brings on this money. You know what I mean? And you're a fucking new guy, so fuck off.
Fall where they may.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you pointed out in your piece in Salon, Brian, it was announced Musk had a tentative agreement to sell $400 million in armored trucks to the government. No one asked about that. He's
Yeah.
supposed to be rooting
Yeah,
out
because
foreign waste.
that was
And I
a
mean,
Biden contract.
So I actually this is
Biden contracted him.
what's ironic. This is something that Brian Grimm, the guy who was talking about, kind of broke. Um, it was supposed to be a much smaller amount, and then I guess under Biden, then they kind of increased it, but tried to make it look like it was all under Biden. Then it just got killed
Okay.
anyway. So I think that's what she's talking about. But yeah,
this meme
And
going
with-
around, while Elon Musk, the wealthiest man alive, is illegally denying food for the poorest children on Earth, SpaceX just received another
What?
$38 million supplemental.
dude, she can't talk either. She belongs in the fucking Dabbleverse. This is she's trying to read this shit. I can't understand what she's fucking saying.
Oh man, and I hate these people who are like, oh, if you know how many people can you feed by not shooting a rocket up into space, and it's like, well, technology must move forward, you dumb fuck.
I will say,
With technology moving forward, things like scarcity of resources starts to go away.
I believe I'm seeing a lot less of Elon, so the leaks might be true that they might be phasing him out. You can
Well,
go
yeah,
back to-
originally they were only like
right.
really
There was
well
a
intended.
short
I
term.
think like 2 years or something like that was really as long as they wanted the Doge thing to even go on for. But I also heard like end of this month, I think, or end of this month or end of last month or whatever, they were supposed to like phase him out, which I guess is fine. I know all he needed to do was get the ball rolling anyway, because it's not specifically Elon, but he put the team together, the Doge team together. So once they're going and know what to do, then I don't think Elon really needs to be involved. And besides, the man's got enough on his plate.
I'm sure his shareholders probably want him to get back to work on the the other shit. But yeah, I had heard like you that he was supposed to be leaving anyway. Then it kind of leaked, whether it's true or not, that the Wisconsin fiasco, they're just like, not fiasco, but where he was trying that election that he went to and was paying whatever for people.
Yeah,
to register
if
or
you
whatever.
sign this thing, it's
Yeah.
like what he did was legal.
Yeah, it was around. Yeah, it's
I
the old
don't
loophole. Yeah.
It wasn't a good look. It was not a great thing. I was very much against that. I was just like, okay, now what you're doing is technically legal. You're not paying anybody for
To
a vote.
Yeah.
You're just paying them to sign a petition.
Yeah, I
Technically
tried pulling. I tried
Uh,
pulling a fast one on Elon, but obviously he's not going to see my shit. But I was like, hey, why are you paying people that are going to vote for Trump anyway? Won't you throw some money this way? There's someone that's not, buy my vote.
I kind of wish
Yeah.
I lived out there to actually sign
Yeah.
that petition, get a chance at that million.
I know that's what sucks living in a state that's either all blue or all red. They ain't going to bother with us or with me.
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah. So what the Vampire Hunter do? Where are we going to deport Melania and Elon? Never.
Yeah.
Hopefully never.
I agree with you, Hunter. Let's get. I mean, Melania married Trump. I don't want to deport anyone's wife, but Elon.
But
he
they're
can
here
take a
legally.
fucking hike. Yeah, he can.
He's a legal citizen.
Yeah, but that's not like that's stopping us now.
Oh, it is.
We've got- okay.
It absolutely is.
Those students.
I know we
that are being
probably
rounded
still.
up.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
wasn't, but he was on a student visa. He was here as a guest to the country. He was not a citizen.
Well, there was not that it matters now, but I remember there was evidence that back in the day, Melania let her visa over run out. So
And
she was-
Elon did too.
I'm sure a lot of them did. So go
But,
back to Africa, Elon.
But they did become citizens, so they are citizens now.
Oh, it's too bad.
So what are you going to do? I mean, that was, Obama, Biden era sort of, we're not going to do anything about it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if it was, yeah, he'd probably been deported, but he's a legal citizen now. So
It's all right. And he carries around that bulletproof vest named X. His fucking son.
I'm starting to get a little bit kind of
The other
like,
day-
you need to leave that kid alone.
Yeah, dude. It's a little like, and I could be wrong. It's not like I paid attention, but I don't remember seeing that kid that much before the Luigi Mangione thing. So
No,
it started
he
as a
wasn't.
joke. I'm not so sure. So
I mean, he's a cute kid and he's,
Yeah.
pretty cool. And I thought it was, pretty wholesome and funny when he, jumped in on the Tucker Carlson interview with Elon. He
Yeah.
just sort of got right up in there and started talking on the microphone to Tucker. I mean, that's cute, and I mean that's fine. But yeah, maybe we should stop carrying the kid around to public places because that's also a bad look.
Yeah, like I don't know, late at night at a UFC fight like he was last night, or I remember the Hannity interview. You could hear him crying in the background. He was and Elon's just trying to muster through the interview, so might be time. Who I can't. Well, I don't want to get off track, but the mother. I don't want to let the mothers of these children off the fucking hook either. They just saw like a meal ticket, man, and it's like, yeah, go take the kid. Fuck it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Paid for by your taxes. Elon
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
loves corporate welfare for himself and rugged individualism for the poor. I mean,
Yeah.
no one asked about that, as you say.
Well, all right, look, Caitlin Collins pushed back. The AP got pushed out because they won't refer to it as the Gulf of America. She asked about that. I mean, why would you? And so she asked about that, and no one followed up.
Right.
Yeah.
We are getting eaten alive, and there was one voice, and that should have been ultimately every reporter in that room should have doubled down and pinned the cheerleader to the wall.
Yeah.
And I can't even refer to that
because-
young lady as a press.
Because she was upset that somebody wouldn't refer to it as the Gulf of America.
Yeah, this is the shit, and we've talked about this where I don't give a fuck. I don't think you give a fuck.
No.
People can call this shit whatever the fuck they want. Like the fact that a reporter is focusing on this, it's almost better just to fucking ignore it if you want it to go. You know what I mean? You're giving it life with this fucking Gulf of America, Gulf of fucking Mexico shit.
Yeah, that shouldn't even be a question for the president.
Right. It's
Let's deport. I agree. Let's deport innocent citizens like Vampire Hunter D.
I'm usually the outnumbered one here. I'm getting some more liberals in here. I appreciate it. I had no idea Vampire Mr. Hunter was on the left. I appreciate it. Oh, I thought I took it down. Sorry. But yeah, it's I don't know why Trump is doing this weird shit with the naming. I almost have a feeling
Maybe it's
a
a distraction.
distraction.
Oh,
And
there you go.
Right. And these idiots when the report, I don't care if citizens talk about it. Like I joke about this shit at work with people, but why are White House reporters? You're taking the fucking bait. I think it was Steve Bannon. He said once that what we're gonna do is throw so much out there that the press can't keep up, so they can't focus on more. So I'm sure there's shit they're throwing out there just to, hey, let's fucking name this, let's do this, that, let's let the press fucking run around, and then the policy stuff can fucking, sneak right underneath. And yeah, Brian, Mr. Smug, Smarty Pants is falling for the fucking
the super journalist is really super, upset about them being named about the name change to the Gulf of America. It's like, dude, that's what I said. He's never been in. I mean, I say he's been in the press room a couple of times, but he's mostly one of those people who's hang outside the chambers and snipe at the politicians and stuff.
I should have known by the shows he's on. Stephanie Miller, Stuttering John.
Well, yeah, everybody, when relative to Stuttering John, of course, Ojeda and Karem look like Rhodes Scholars.
Right.
But they're really not much more intelligent than John. It's just John. Well, actually, I'd say Karem probably a little bit more intelligent than John. Ojeda, not so much. It's just John has this combination of lazy, incompetence, and stupid.
Yeah,
it sort of comes together into really makes him seem super stupid.
I think Ojeda he's almost more like a character. That's why he's been on Bill Maher. He's been in Michael Moore's documentary. Like I saw him on TSN, not TSN.
TYT.
TYT. Now I'm doing it the other way. I think because he's kind of a character, and it's like, oh, look, this guy's from West Virginia, and you think he's going to be super MAGA, but he's not, and blah blah blah.
And he is competent.
Yeah, and Brian's
And so
just
is Brian.
smug fucking journalist. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's gonna get some of the
I don't even know if I want to go so far as to call him a journalist. That seems to be giving him a little too much credit. He's definitely one of those people that, much like John, failed upwards and now finds himself kind of doing what he can with the earned credits and lack of talent required to do what he was doing. Anyway.
Are you just to answer Written Asylum's question really quickly? Do you know Jimmy Dore at all? The podcaster. Okay,
used to be on TYT. Yeah.
TYT, yeah. Yeah, I was
He
a
was
fan
the
of
first
Jimmy.
to vacate. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not. I think I don't know what anyone believes, but he seemed to find when he went with sort of pro-Trump, anti-vax stuff, his numbers went way up, and he started making money. And I think now it's just, whatever's going to make him money. He still tries to toe the line a little bit, but
He's
I
just
used
chasing
to,
the money.
yeah, he used to do some really good stuff on the police brutality. I used to really love the shit he did on that. He still does some good stuff here and there, but it's you go through, if you go to his page now and just look at all his videos, it's instead of being like half anti-Republican, half anti-Democrat, it's like 95% anti-Democrat, and he kind of lets the Republicans, he doesn't say much anymore. So, but he made his money, so I'm not a fan, but I was at one point. That's all I can say, I guess.
I think I always found him to be the most tolerable host of TYT, even back when he was still on it.
He is merely
He had a personality, unlike but compared to some of those guys, he seemed more real. That's why I was kind of disappointed that if he was more 50-50, I have no problem with him criticizing the Young Turks. They deserve some criticism, but he just doesn't seem to criticize the right like he does the left when he used to be more 50-50 with it. So
a Christian pep star. That's it. She's a cheerleader.
Yeah.
That's all she is.
Yeah, solidarity, Brian. You're absolutely right. We hang together or we'll hang separately. I mean, I just love the people on Twitter that are resisting more than the reporters in the room. John Scalzi said, "I personally will continue to use Gulf of Mexico because our president is a wrathful, felonious nincompoop with the intellect of a paramecium, and I do not consent to this cartographic buffoonery."
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is what I mean. They're just following. Like, who gives a fuck? He just wanted to. How many fancy words can I write in my article?
And she's literally like, she's not making any comment. She's reading somebody else's comment.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, do you have your own thoughts at all?
Right. If you all the shit going on, and you guys are talking about Gulf of Mexico versus Gulf of America, like you're not brave if you say Gulf of America. You're not brave if you say Gulf of Mexico. It's just a nothing. It's a nothing.
And
issue.
as I said, I've lived in Texas, and everybody just calls it the Gulf.
Gulf, right? So
anyway,
like up here, they call
the Gulf.
Yeah, Cape Cod is the Cape. No one. If they changed Cape Cod's name, we'd still just call it the Cape. Nobody would care.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, but I find that an insult to paramecium.
I just
how clever! Look at him! Look at that!
We were saying.
I think he wants to be like he wants to be a Bill Maher type. I think he wants to be like a comedian who talks politics. I think that's what he wants so bad. He thinks he's.
Oh
funny.
yeah. I saw that the thing that he just did with the comedy thing with was it Tom Arnold and that other host of John's other former co-host of John's
Hal Sparks, maybe.
Hal Sparks. They did like the comedy tour. It's like an hour long. I was like, hey, maybe we can cover this. I saw it was like it's over an hour, and I'm like, no, we're not. It's like it's taking us over an hour to get through this 19 minutes.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, old Jedi. We're definitely not getting to you today. That'll be another day. Yeah, that might be why he hangs out with John. Just maybe he's hoping for some comedy connections.
Bill Walsh, for instance, our former congressman friend said, what can you do? Don't give up hope. Dictators feed off your hopelessness. Don't quit. Dictators want you to give up. Punch back. Dictators are bullies. Bullies are cowards. Stay tethered to the truth. Dictators need you to believe their lies. Resist. Stand with others. And I find myself so wishing you were in that room every day, Brian. Because
Well, once I get done with this this documentary, documenting what a shit show he's
go.
Whoa.
Can't say that.
this garbage scow that he's creating.
Right. Yes. Let's
Sorry
go with
about that.
That's all right.
then I'll be back. But I doubt that you'll hear any more from me than the question. As I told every press secretary, I don't care if I get a question in or not. I'll go back and ask you. But if there's something in that room that's left unasked before you get off the stage, I will ask it, because that goes back to the way I was raised, and my mentors, Sam Donaldson and Helen Thomas.
He sits outside and snipes them as they're moving between places.
Unreal. It is a beautiful place, Asylum. It is. It's
Never been.
nice. It's obviously nice in the sun. What the irony is, it gets less snow in the winter than the rest of the state because it's like on the water, whatever. So yeah, so it's not
And she said,
not a bad place to live. Just a little pricey, little out of my price range, but it's beautiful.
Helen said, Brian, it doesn't matter if the question is answered. It doesn't matter what the answer is. You have to ask the question and get it on the record.
Yeah.
So that's, if there's something that needs to be on the record, I'm going to ask it. And so Karem,
why did you change the name to the Gulf of America?
Yeah.
Very important issue to have on the record. Oh,
Yeah.
and why are you a liar? Very important to get on the record.
Right. So far, Brian has some vague questions he would have asked if only he had access. And Stephanie Miller is just reading what other people have said without adding a fucking thing to it.
Yep.
Dude, like, I'm not even joking. This
I
is
told
a
you
better.
the smug might actually physically injure you.
Us two idiots, not that we're idiots, but we have a more comprehensive fucking political podcast than these fucking two. It's like you get
And they're
nothing
super
from this.
well. Stephanie Miller's super popular. She's on I think she is actually on the radio. I think she has an actual radio show. This is like, I think this is like, or a podcast, or I think she does actually do like a radio show, and this is like the visual version. Sort of like you watch WATP or whatever. The video of it if you're a member, but it's really just the video of them making a podcast.
Gotcha.
So I think this is the video of them making a radio show. But I believe Stephanie Miller is on. I think she is on one of those AM left-wing AM stations. I think.
God,
I don't know.
There's no hope.
in that room. She always called on me because she knew that at the end of the day, if she didn't, she was going to get it going out the door. And most of the other press secretaries understand that. But I doubt that
he's only been called on twice, by the way.
I'm glad you're here to point that out, man. Because I like I said, I knew a lot about Ojeda before, coming into the Dabbleverse. I didn't know a fucking thing about Brian Karem.
Yeah, I actually, because he always talks about the one time that he actually got a question. So I actually tried to find, I wanted to look up, all Brian Karem's times that he got a question in, and it was twice.
Jesus Christ. I always used to wonder how Stuttering John got someone from the White House press pool, and I guess he didn't. He got Brian Karem.
Well, he was the press court or the White House correspondent for Playboy magazine.
Yeah.
So
Salon, Playboy. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, he's the not exactly scraping the upper crust here.
Yeah.
That's not my problem. My problem is to get out the question. And by God, that's what you have to do. That's your job. The idea, she was in the briefing room the other day, Stephanie, saying it's a privilege to be in that room with a president. No, it's a privilege for the president to be in that room. He's there by the grace of 77 million voters.
No, it is a privilege to have a spot in that room. It has to be, because there's only so many spots in that room.
Yeah.
Physics dictate only so many people can fit in there.
I think I get what he's trying to. Oh my God.
I know what he's getting at.
Sir, hold on. Sorry.
All right.
Ava, how are we doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
I'm sorry. I don't know how long you've been there. I apologize.
Oh, just a few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
good to
enjoying
have you.
watching Brian Karem with Stephanie Miller here? I know
I
you're
was-
a big fan.
I was doing my I was doing my homework and had an insufferable professor, and then I turned it on like 10 minutes ago. So I heard the TYT stuff, which I would
Yep.
happily comment on, but I have not seen this douchebag talk yet in your show.
That's great. I haven't seen it either, so we will go over it together.
I saw a little bit of it, and my eye started twitching from the smug, and I thought this would be perfect for the show.
Those two are just so. I mean, who the fuck gives a shit what they have to say? They're just so banal and gross.
Oh, I know. Like,
Uh,
and one thing that we've noticed through, like, we were only like halfway through. Like Stephanie basically is her idea of commenting is reading other people's comments from X,
Mhm.
And then of course Brian is being Brian.
I
And
love
we
her
know you-
shirt. Yeah, Brian with his look at his horrible face. He's just. By the way, to comment on Jimmy Dore, I think that Jimmy Dore is an imbecile, alcoholic douchebag.
so I think we're closer. Yeah, I
Okay.
said, I used to like Jimmy. I remember he did a lot of good stuff during the police brutality shit, like in 2020, whatever. He put a lot of good compilation videos together. But he's sort of yeah, I think he got the money with certain
Well-
things he posted, and that's where he's gone. But
In
that's fine.
2016, he was like defending voting for Trump and like laughing off the notion of the Supreme Court justices being appointed. And he said that if Peter Thiel were Supreme Court justice, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, that was in 2016.
16,
but-
yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it just sounds to me like he's chasing the money.
I think that was his awakening to the dollar signs. But you know, Anna Kasparian has become a total cunt also.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
we
you
can-
is a fucking buffoon douchebag. idiot.
Oh, I'm loving Anna lately. Anna's been great. And
Yeah,
yeah, I know you love. I've seen some of your posts. Yeah, at Jank.
He's the only person I tweet at. It's just
At Chunk Yogurt.
he's just so
The big
annoying
round
right now.
blue.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, the talking about smugness, we've been Jank has smugness all over him.
That whole like just that I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
The whole
Absolutely.
like are you like that criticism that people are lodging at both him and Anna about talking to the right and things like that. Like he's on this big escapade of talking to Charlie Kirk, and so people are critical of it, and then his inability to like recognize what the counter argument is, like he just constantly strawmans it, and it's like no one has a problem with you talking to people in the right wing. It's every time you do, you just suck their dick and just shit on people on the left, like right after that election. And it's like, if you want to gain people to the movement, like you can't shit on people that were already there. He just sucks. I can't.
No, I hate to do this, but to Jank's defense, and trust me, that didn't taste right to say that. He was, right in that he was actually being listened to by people on the right, by Musk and by Trump, and his ideas were actually being, they're actually, replying to him and listening to him and actually, saying, oh, yeah, we need to look into that and stuff like that, which is something that, I know, as he said, was definitely not occurring when he was, trying to talk to people on the left. Like Biden and stuff like that. So, he got an attaboy and he, ran with it.
Can I argue with you about that? Only because none of my friends know about this drama. So
100%.
Just tell me to shut up whenever you want to.
No,
I'm sorry. I think that he didn't get a pat on the back. I think that he's suddenly got amplified with these right-wing people in that moment, and that audience capture like made him think that he's actually changing all these minds. I believe, as has been displayed in the past, when right-wing people like Charlie Kirk and all that embrace someone from the left, it's only to use them to bolster their points, to say, look, he's even saying it, while at the same time never really taking in anything that they're putting down. So like, for example, when he went on Charlie Kirk, he got laughed at whenever he tried to do that. And so yes, he is going on the show, but I think there's something like intellectually dishonest or just condescending for him to say, well, if I'm nice to these right wingers, then they'll come to our side. It completely takes away the agency from Trump voters to come to those conclusions on their own. They're not going to do it because that fucking water buffalo douchebag is like, sucking their dick and shitting on trans people.
Absolutely
You know what I'm
not.
saying?
What is not going to happen is he is not going to convince people on the right to come over towards the left. It's basically, it's exactly as you said. It's you just said his name. I can't believe Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot his fucking name. I don't listen to him either. But it's Charlie Kirk, parading him around and saying, "See, look, the left are coming over to us," and that's just, as you said, uplifting people's idea, especially people in the middle.
Absolutely.
Maybe maybe the left really isn't the place to go because even their big spokespeople are actually turning right wing.
Right. If the left wants to win people over, they need to have a cohesive, strong message that people relate with, and people will come there if they're disappointed in the party they supported before, not because that gorilla douchebag is like fucking.
We were literally talking about that at the beginning of the episode with this the hands off protests.
Yeah, the protest. My wife wanted to go. They're up here, and I didn't go because there's no message. The left sucks at messaging. It's just, hey, we hate Trump, come protest. It's like, all right, let's protest policies, let's protest certain things he's doing, not just like, hey, I hate fucking Trump. You're gonna end up with a bunch of blue no matter who fucking Democrats who just hate Trump, and we disagree on certain shit, but I don't want to stand with those fucking people.
I'm conflicted on that. Yeah,
go on.
There's no message. If there's no message, there's no, like, if there's no forward direction, there's no saying we want this. It's just a whole bunch of people saying, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, and so it just loses its power. It's not, you can't say, oh, look, we had 70,000 people come out to say, we don't like this policy or position. It's, we had 70,000 people come out and hang out for a while and then leave.
Yes, I think that I go back and forth on that because I live in Portland, and so when we had our protest movement, I just went back and forth in my head about how I felt about a lot of those. I think it's like we shouldn't criticize them. That should just exist, but it should also be in conjunction with power being exerted through government and like strength on issues and not capitulation. And so I think we don't have to criticize the protests. I think when Cenk did it, because he is an obnoxious jackass, he was just butthurt because Bernie didn't invite him. And if you read in between the lines when he was talking about that, that's kind of what was going on. I guarantee he would roll a trough out with and go there for himself if he was invited by Bernie and could get that. He's just mad that they don't come on his show because he's disgusting. But I do think that those protests. I just had a couple of beers. Those protests.
Tell us what you really think about Cenk.
I'm gonna be banned from this show by the end of this.
No.
I'm gonna shut up.
Oh no, we're not Cenk fans either. Well, Nick used to be, but
yeah, I've changed, and sorry, he's changed. I shouldn't say I changed. Yeah. I feel like he's changed.
How do you feel? Okay, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
How do you feel about Anna? The way that Anna's branching out, and you won't hurt my feeling.
Oh, you muted. You muted yourself.
Ava. Oh, she probably got a knock in the door or something. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I totally forgot that
or the cat is misbehaving. I think the cat was trying to get at the camera because that looked like she just picked up the cat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, when I messaged her earlier today, I was like, I'm just going to send you the link. You get open invite all the time, so I totally forgot. Wasn't expecting that. I'm like, oh my God, there she is at the bottom. Very excited.
Nope, you're still muted. Nope.
We can't hear you, Ava.
I think you're actually like muted from on Streamlabs.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can.
It's not Streamlabs.
No, I can't. Yeah, I can't unmute her. It says the mic is.
How about now?
No, we got you.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, my cat literally was trying to knock the tripod over and unplug the.
Yeah, so when you got up, everybody's like, "What's happening?" And I saw you pick up the cat, and I said, "Oh, the cat's causing trouble."
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh shit, I was talking about TYT again." Normally, I just talk to her about it. I was saying, what do you think about the decision to strategically observe like the polling on things like transports and then utilize it the way that Anna and Cenk are, where they're basically arguing, hey, we need to choose our battles here, and therefore, we have to give them transports. How do you feel about that argument?
So for me myself, I don't have a problem with the concept of choosing your battles, but I believe trans people have been used as the fall guy in this whole thing. So I guess if there was one area like sports you could argue, but it's such a small thing that I don't think it's like they're trying to blow this whole thing up where there's hardly any trans athletes in schools. It's not like, I mean, what's her face, that Riley Gaines, she tied
That
for
fucking cunt.
Yeah, she tied for
Tied for
fifth place.
Yeah.
Like if that trans swimmer still had never swam, she still would have came in fifth place. But now she's this hero, and like so, this, and I know if I've said this before. I am very big on the on economic issues. I'm an economic populist. I don't care what anybody does. So that's my whole thing is I don't care what trans you let people be who they want to be. Don't let them be the boogeyman. But it's like, yeah, I believe they are falling to the notion they are selling out to the right by allowing them to use trans people as the fall guy, as the boogeyman in this whole thing. So that's how I feel about it.
Well, I somewhat agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point that it's not really super the issue that it's been made out to be. Yeah, I don't think that trans women should be allowed to play in women's sports. I think that it's dangerous, pretty much for the women mostly, and also, I mean, it's also extremely unfair because it's taking a position from somebody who's basically really, really worked hard to get to where they are, and then just some dude can take some estrogen, and then now they're beating them with ease, and these women work really hard at that. But on the flip side, there's so many women's sports now that would not be watched at all if it wasn't for the trans athlete that everybody hates. So there's that too.
That is totally fair. I didn't have the gall to actually ask you personally what you thought about that, but I hear you on that. I meant more, what do you think about the strategy concept of Cenk and Anna saying that as a left movement, we need to condemn trans sports publicly because that will help us win elections?
As far as me, strategy, I think it'd be a better strategy to try, and I'm not even saying it's going to work.
Oh no, Nick, you answered. I was talking.
Did
to
I?
the
Okay,
liquid.
sorry.
No, you.
Go ahead,
You
Mr.
totally.
To me?
Yeah.
Oh, you can call me Cryptid.
Where's your face?
It's right here.
Eh.
Can you not see my face?
Why don't you show your face?
Like. I'm on Mars. What do you want? This is what I look like.
Oh boy. Why don't you green screen? All right.
No, I'm.
Take your shirt off and then turn real cam. Let's get started. Okay. Okay. I'll go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
As far as like a strategy goes, actually, I think it might actually be sort of a good strategy. I think there's a lot of people, especially in the center, who, no offense, I don't think you'd take any offense, kind of see trans women as kind of weird and gross, and that's actually a large portion of people.
Oh yeah.
As I said, no offense. I mean, you probably know better than anybody.
No, because everyone tells me I'm beautiful, but I hear that. I feel like Brian Karem, I think, agrees with that too. Like, not that I'm beautiful, that I think he thinks that we look like goblins.
Oh, I didn't say goblins. I mean, there's
Brian Karem.
Oh, right. Well, Brian is a goblin, but no, there's a trans girl at work who passes just fine. In fact, I knew her when he was him, and it took me a while to actually, start calling her by her new name.
Yeah,
and I knew him for years as him.
Yes,
and then became her, and that was a little rough. But
so you feel that there is value politically in a left movement, like
sort of distancing themselves from trans. Well, I mean, honestly, I think about it the same way as sort of, I guess, the whole homosexual or the gay thing, where if you just leave them alone. They're just people, man. Leave them alone. Stop parading them around. Stop parading it around. Maybe, okay, trans women in women's sports is probably not a great idea. But other than that, I mean, it's become too political, I think, is basically what happened. Like, I have no problem with trans people at all. You do you.
Right.
Don't beat up women in their own sport, and leave the kids alone.
I would only add that I feel like Chank and Anna, by constantly talking about it, are politicizing it more. So that's kind
But yeah, I think overall it might be a good idea for the left if not just. I mean, I wouldn't expect anybody on the left to suddenly become real anti-trans or anything like that. But maybe stop talking about it.
I think everyone kind of.
Minimum.
I think all trans people want that.
Yeah, because it's just people, man. Live your life.
When I first started transitioning during the Trump first term, like no one was really talking about it, and it was nice. And then right when I came out to my family, this all started, and I was just like, oh god.
And it was the same. As I said, it was the same thing. Back when I was growing up, is the whole what was it the gay agenda. Like, everybody was talking about the gays and how they're taking over everything. And then it became legalized, and then nobody cares anymore.
Do you think gays should play sports with non-gays?
No, that's dangerous for the non-gays.
That's
especially if
what I'm
the gays behind them.
Can I throw my idea about how to handle the transport issue? I've been
Absolutely
ruminating on this.
Sure.
I think that every out of shape, non-athletic, artistic trans teenager or middle schooler or college student should all enroll in sports and bomb horribly in every game and get as much footage of it and just flood the zone like Steve Bannon style.
And then make it, and then
So
make
for
it
every
just
like
basically
freakishly like out of place like trans woman that wins, there's like 300 just horrible trans athletes. Just flood the zone.
Yeah, and just make it so people stop caring.
Just like, well, if they do that, be like, well, look at this motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they'll stop caring because because there's no longer a talking point. You can't
That's
say
right.
you can't point at it and go, this person beat the women's record by like a full minute.
What do you think about Piers Morgan?
I try not to.
Okay, you guys do your show. I'll participate. I'll stop.
No.
No, we want you. Actually, I want to ask you. So, did you ever participate in any of the Portland protests back in like 2020, or were you? Do you know? I watched a lot about them on Vice and whatever, and I was kind of interested if someone that was there.
I'll tell you.
Go on. Yeah.
I I grew up in the South. After college, I moved back to the South from like 2011 to 2016. So I was always constantly. Ironically, I'm from where Anthony Cumia now lives. So like yeah, and then I moved back in 2016 because it all just fell apart, and so I just have that in the back of my mind about how bad it is there. Like if you just anyone that's not brown or anything like that there to drive is like it's a police state. It's always been like people are just getting pulled over and there's a police presence and all that. And in my view, privately, I felt that people in Portland really didn't understand. They were taking for granted how different it is here because there never was a sense that there's this high police presence. Granted, I've never been a black person living in a particularly black area, but it's just so much better. And so when those protests were happening, there was this part of me that's like, don't. Like,
we're coming back
so
to
much
it.
worse. So,
I just ran away from this. Stop it, people.
So when those protests were like really dark, like it was like when Homeland Security was starting to send people here, I made a decision to take mushrooms and go to one and just kind of watch from the back. And what I found was that, and I went when the mayor of Portland went, and at that time it was this huge, it was just all of downtown Portland. And what I found was that until 9 p.m., Black people were there and speaking and making the kinds of speeches you were talking about policy in a constructive way. And that what seemed to be the case is that there's this late shift of just these anarchist people that just wanted to fuck shit up. And that was my sense of it. And there was like barely any black people there. And I haven't refined this, so I hope I don't sound stupid.
No,
But it was scary. So that my bias kind of was to not like the protest. That's what I took away from it. But it was really dark how at 11 this like and I was tripping too, so on mushrooms. But they were like, "Hey, y'all need to go, or we're gonna, we're getting mad." And then when they finally came out, they came out in like tanks, and it really felt like Iraq. They gassed us. I was like beaten. I was just standing way in the back. I was like beaten, and they're trapping people in and all that. And so you can make the argument. It's like, well, why are you there? So I don't know. The excessive force that was being experimented was pretty dark, but yeah, that's kind of my not one side or the other view of it.
Yeah, that's what I try and tell people. I went to some, but I live in the Northeast. I live in the Boston area, so it wasn't nearly. But even when I was at them, they were everything was pretty calm and cool, and then the curfew would hit, and the cops would all of a sudden get aggressive, and when go on. Yeah, that's when some of the violence would, or the violence towards us, or the destruction towards property would happen. And then the cops would leave, and it's almost like that's what they wanted to happen.
Right. They're like, get out.
Yeah.
I lived in Boston for like 5 years, and it was like one of my favorite points in my life. Where you live like in the city?
Yeah, I used to. I moved a bunch. I lived in Rosendale. I don't know if you know that area. Yeah, I lived in Medford.
Ooh, Medford.
Yeah, Medfa.
Mhm.
I live in a much smaller city now, but yeah, I used to that sort of area.
All my friends like that live there that still stay in the area have all moved out to like Easton and like Middleborough. Like no one's
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that place.
Nice. So you lived in South Carolina too?
Yeah, Greenville.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, my wife's family's from down like in Anderson, South Carolina, that area.
Oh, that's like 20 minutes from where I'm from. Anderson's, it's funny.
All right, you want to come back?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Did I bum you out?
No. I just realized what time it was, and I had to take something out of the. That may have overcooked dinner. Just say.
I thought you were having tech issues, so I didn't want to bring you back up, and there was no movement for a while. Then I looked down and there was movement, so I was like, all right.
I just looked at my watch. I was like, oh wait, we've been here for an hour and a half. That's about how long that the thing was cooking.
He was pumping.
So
he was pumping off to me. He's lying.
Yeah, that too. Well, you got to do what you got to do.
So what are you cooking for dinner?
Sometimes it can't wait.
I remember. I think it was Vice they followed this this veteran who went down to Portland for the protest because he wanted to confront the law enforcement on what they were doing to people's First Amendment rights, and they like maced the guy. They broke his hand. He was like this older vet. It was awful, and he pretty much summed up what you said, Ava, that again it was pretty peaceful for the most part, and then once it gets later and towards curfew, they would get extra aggressive, and then almost like I said, they kind of want that to happen. People destroy stuff, and this, even in my experience when I was in the Boston ones, there was every time some asshole would try and break something or graffiti, there'd be like 20 people trying to, hey dude, don't do that, blah blah blah. There was always more good than bad, but with anything else, the bad gets amplified, and the good's like kind of left.
Well, yeah, because that's a story,
right? Yeah,
that's the media could point at it and go, hey, look, this is an interesting thing. What's not interesting? A bunch of people cleaning up graffiti, or
small business and stuff. It was such a it's really sad. That's such a weird moment because it really was like this explosion after like shutdowns and everything too. So it's just like this primal. I mean, it was chaos. I can imagine in Boston too. Though I feel like the BPD there are like they're funny.
Yeah.
I can't do a good mass impression, but like yours is very endearing.
They talk weird.
That thing I did on Bill Maher the other day, I'm watching it just to see how it came out, and they got the the words I'm saying, and they spelled Bill's last name M-A-H because I'm saying it Bill Ma, I guess. So
Yeah.
it's like they're not even spelling it the fucking right way.
How do you feel about Bill Burr's trajectory in his political
Well,
analysis?
it's so funny. That's what I brought up wanting to. I was thinking of doing a show on Bill Burr versus Anthony Cumia, their politics. I'm a big Bill fan. I can't say I'm not. I know a lot of other people think he's changed. I think we all changed, so I think he's changed somewhat. But to me, comedy's always been about, holding the powerful accountable, punching up. He's still doing that. Well, a lot of these comedians are now kissing Trump's ass, kissing Elon's ass. So I'm all for Bill, calling out the CEO. So I'm a big Bill Burr fan. I don't want to speak for Mr. Cryptid, but I think he's like some of my other friends that, well, you were a Bill Burr fan, but maybe not so much anymore. Is that what it is?
Oh no, I still like his comedy and stuff. I still think he's funny. Like F is for Family is a great show. I love that show because it reminds me. Well, I mean, I was actually not born when that show takes place. It's in the early 70s. But I think he's fine. But he definitely has changed, obviously. I think he has become maybe a little bit more, I guess I should say, forgiving towards the left. He still hates media, and he still generally dislikes the things he dislikes. I just think he's become a lot more forgiving towards the left. I mean, he went on The View, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I wish he had. I wish he hadn't gone on that fucking show. But I mean, he's promoting.
It's got to promote
Glenn Ross. The play he's doing.
But as I said, he's now, he's got that Disney bag.
Oh yeah, Mandalorian.
And he doesn't want to get Gina Carano out of that.
Do you think it's all about his black wife? Like it's like people want it to be that he's changed because he has that black wife that looks really black.
Why would he
according
change now?
to someone I forgot. I'm not saying.
Haven't they been married forever?
I know they've been together for a while because you look at young Bill Burr stand up and he's doing great bits on dating her and having to travel to Harlem at like 3 a.m. to get laid or whatever, looking how he looks. So yeah, I know they've been together a long time. But I think I know people shit on his wife like she's a Yoko Ono type, but it's like, hey man, his wife's black and he's defending his wife, against like racism. What kind of? I look at people like fucking, oh god, I hate him. I can't think of his name. Ted Cruz, who let Trump shit all over his wife and didn't defend her. That's yeah.
Liquid Cryptid. Do you like Ted Cruz?
I love Ted Cruz. He's awesome.
Is he joking?
I hope that's sarcasm.
No, I like Ted Cruz.
Do you
I
really?
think Ted Cruz is great. He's an excellent.
Hold on.
He's just a textbook swarmy politician. Oh,
No, he's just good at debating. He knows what's going on and what he's doing. I like him.
Okay. Well, you like who you like, I guess. I
think he's doing great in Florida. As a president, I'm gonna.
You think no, he's in Texas.
Oh, is he Texas? I thought he was. Why am I thinking Florida? Oh, I'm thinking DeSantis.
You thinking DeSantis?
But no, okay, Ted Cruz. No, I mean, I like Ted Cruz. I don't know why I said Florida. Why I thought he was in Florida.
I didn't know if sometimes you hear one name, you think something else. I didn't know if you were thinking.
Yeah. It was just I think I just got his where he's from mixed up. But yeah, Ted, I know exactly what you're talking about, Ted Cruz. I like him. I think he's great. Do I think he would be a great president? No.
How do you like him?
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Like him? He does great things for Texas.
Like what?
Well, I don't live there.
No.
Okay.
I remember when they lost electricity.
I don't know.
Cancun. I remember that.
Yeah, but that was a scheduled vacation that he was already on, and also he's a.
Oh come on,
he's
you
a
motherfucker!
He's a senator. Like he doesn't even need to be there.
I just think when you think of like
that's all his job is. I'm sorry.
No, go on. Go on.
Well, no. Once there's a state of emergency is actually initiated by the governor, and then they get the FEMA, whatever the federal government then comes in, and like the senator literally has nothing to do with any of that.
Isn't part of his job kind of just performative anyway, though? So shouldn't that be
he's a senator.
the one thing he does?
Well,
How
yeah,
does
he's a
look
senator.
like he cares? Like he's not in Cancun.
Exactly. He's a politician and a senator.
It was
I
so
just can't-
funny. I remember he's got like a Hispanic name, so he goes by Ted, and then he runs
Ted.
against what's his face, Beto O'Rourke, who tries to sound like he's. It's funny. The Democrat tried to sound Latino. The Latino Republican tried to sound white. I always found that like hilarious.
Yeah.
But
And-
I just think when you think of the textbook of swarmy politician, I think of Ted Cruz. That's why.
Yeah,
I
he's
think, yeah.
Yeah, come on, Cryptid. I mean, he's just I mean, he's so full of shit, right? No, okay.
He's a politician.
Well, he's pretty bad. Okay.
I mean, I hate
he's
most
He's
politicians.
really good at
but,
debate.
yeah.
Honestly, I like Ted Cruz. I think
Okay.
Ted Cruz is fine.
I
think
won't
he's doing a
pile
fine
on. I
job.
won't pile on. I don't see it.
I
but
like
won't pile on.
what he's saying in the Senate, and I like a lot of his stances.
Is the rule on the show like I haven't seen enough to know like if what I just did was faux pas? Do you not like just
We don't have
argue?
any rules. No. Yeah.
No,
that's
there's
the
no
thing,
rules.
yeah. Where
Okay, so-
he's the righty. I'm the lefty, and we just go from there. Yeah.
Oh, so he's
Yeah.
like an official righty.
Well, I'm right of center.
Yeah. We can.
So you're
He can be very reasonable with certain things, and I feel like I can too. So that's where we do agree a lot. Like, I guess I'm more of the Bernie Sanders type wing, where I don't like most Democrats. I want to get the money out of politics and all that stuff.
economic populist left.
Yeah.
Me
absolutely.
too. Me too.
And
Where I'm more on the right.
yeah, he's more on that on the right. We where we usually agree a lot is the stupid shit that people try to push. We both think it's stupid, like the Gulf of Cancun or whatever, America, like all the shit the little issues people argue over. We're like, okay, this is just a distraction. Fucking, it's not important. Let's talk about this. This policy, or this and that. Yeah.
That was an interesting decision by the AP to do that, and like my bias would be to defend the AP, but that was such an odd. Or are you talking about Trump doing that?
Yeah, Trump trying to name it.
Or even
well,
like,
that's
why is it even a big important thing? Like, like where we were just at with Brian Karem here was guns are exceptionally cool. I have many, and they are awesome. But Brian was like sitting here talking about how they didn't want to discuss how the press corps at the White House didn't push the question on the Gulf of America. And it's like, why is that even a comment in the White House press conference?
Exactly. Like, what discussion is going to come from that? Like, where they're going to have a constructed? It's such a blunt instrument. Like, there's really nothing to dissect. He did it.
It's like because we changed the name to that. Okay, next question. And
Yeah.
why are you in here?
He's such a hack.
Who gave you press
Brian
credentials?
Karem. Is that really what he said about it? He's such a fucking bozo.
Yeah, he said that they didn't press what's her name hard enough on the Gulf of
Levitt.
America. Yeah,
Karen Levitt. Is that her name?
yeah, it didn't press her hard enough on the Gulf of America.
Do you think
I'm
she's
gonna be
hot?
honest,
Do you think she's hot?
oh yeah,
Do you?
I'd hit that. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
You like Metallica?
Not anymore.
Oh man.
What was your? When did you drop off?
I think where's the one with Fuel? Where was that one?
Load.
Load. Yeah.
Oh,
Load. Yeah,
Reload.
Load and
Fuel is
Reload.
Reload.
Yeah, Load and Reload, I think, were the start of their downfall.
One of the most disturbing things that Stuttering John said, because I asked him what his favorite Metallica album was, and he couldn't name one, which is very odd.
Yeah.
And then he was like the Enter Sandman. It's like, oh my god, Black
God,
Album.
you couldn't even say Black Album.
Yeah, he's
First of
so-
all, that's
the
that's the
lamest-
generic
Even
answer.
that,
Yeah.
he's so lazy.
I mean, I was going to say Black Album if you're going to point that at me. I was just going to say Black Album or Ride the Lightning.
Ride
Was
the
that one?
Lightning would or
Was that one before? I think there was. What was the one
And
before the
Master-
Black Album?
and Master of no, and Justice for All was right before the Black Album.
I mean,
I think that one.
I'm equal opportunity. I'm the person that's annoying and occasionally just be a contrarian and try to say that Load and Reload are good, even though like they're not.
Period. Well, we have new rules now. We just made them up.
One time, there was this In Excess cover band playing, and I made my band learn Metallica to open for them, but I made them only learn like Load and Reload songs, and then have the with the Saint Anger snare, like the high pitched one, and never agreed to do anything like that after that again.
But
So,
honestly, I was never a huge Metallica fan to begin with. So
I'm not either. They're just really funny.
I saw them in '94 in Suicidal Tendencies in Danzig opened. I'm like a sophomore in high school, and this guy on the lawn asked if I was a cop. He was all fucked up. And he's like, "Are you a cop?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm 15
you know,
years
you got to
old."
tell me if I ask.
And he goes, "You're wearing a blue shirt, man." I'm like, "Doesn't mean I'm a fucking cop." Yeah.
You could be a cop in a movie because
Yeah.
you got the perfect like New
Oh yeah,
England.
absolutely. He's got the whole what is it, the Irish cop accent, Irish Boston cop.
Did you ever get to see Nirvana?
No, I never. I've seen Pearl Jam over like 20 times. That's my band, but I've never seen Nirvana. Never got to see them.
Oh.
Before it was too.
Okay.
How about
Now
you?
that
Are you too young? You're probably
I was too young,
Yeah,
but
you're
Nirvana's
too young.
Nirvana's like my favorite
Yeah.
band in the world.
Nice.
We can go back to Brian Karem. I'm sorry, I really
No.
derailed this.
Just happy to have you. Happy to have you. We can talk about whatever.
Okay.
All right, let's go to. We'll get some more Brian. I forget what he was talking about, but I'm sure it's not important. So we'll see
No, it isn't.
the next non-important thing he brings up.
I'm there to do my job, which is, by the way, isn't.
No, you're not.
It's not privilege. It's written into the Constitution.
Yeah.
So
Shut
Oh
up.
yeah, he was talking
Yeah.
about how it's not a privilege to be in the press room. It's a privilege for Trump to be there, not for the and of course my point was it is a privilege to be there because there's only so much space.
He made that point.
Yeah, he said it's not a privilege for the press to be in the press room. It's a privilege for Trump to be in front of the press.
Shouldn't he know that based on how limited the amount of times he ever got to get in there were?
Yeah, twice. Whatever
You
it
would
was.
think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like twice. It was twice. Was it? I mean, you probably know more about him than I did, but it's like twice.
I know.
Like,
All I know
twice
about
that I
him
could find.
is that he had a confrontation with Sebastian Gorka in one of the times he went there.
Oh my God, that guy.
Gorka.
When I first joined fucking Twitter, like fucking forever ago, that guy, I shit on something he said. He DM'd me and then blocked me, and I was like,
He blocked you?
screenshot it. Yeah, I was like, I couldn't believe he DM'd me. I was fucking shocked. He told me. Then I think he may have like regretted what he said to me because, you know, if I not that I'm a nobody, but if someone picked it up, it was pretty bad. I forget what it was, but it was this pretty much insult.
Nah,
and then,
yeah.
And then he fucking blocked me after that. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
That
he's
makes
just a fucking retarded water carrier for the Republican Party.
Oh, I think you're not giving him credit. I feel
A
go ahead.
British Republican, a British.
Yeah.
Is that even? Is he British? I don't even
water.
know. Like
I
Yeah,
believe
he's not
so.
even he's not American. I know that.
Well, he's not American. I know.
he's
that.
from somewhere. I feel like the strategy for Trump now that the tariff thing kind of hit bottom is just integrate Gorka into the lexicon. Like he should just now appoint
Just
him
in
as
some
the
way.
Secretary of Treasury and just like have Gorka go out there and
Oh,
just fucking
God.
do hits, and we'll all forget about the tariffs.
Oh, who was that Italian guy he had that first time around? Fucking
Scaramucci.
Scaramucci, that Guido motherfucker.
I love Anthony Scaramucci.
The
Like,
mooch. Yeah.
The mooch. He's the best.
Oh.
Not even because of his views, like his.
Yeah, I know just the character. Yeah.
Do you know who Steven Crowder is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's this era. Do you know who Sam Cedar is from the majority?
Yep.
Yeah.
I do that. I make the music for that show. Sam had.
Do you really? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
like every time you watch it, like my music plays as the intro and the breaks, and
Really, for Steven Crowder, huh?
not for Crowder, for Sam
Oh,
Cedar.
for
Cedar.
Steve Cedar.
Yeah,
Okay.
But
Majority
there's this
Report,
big,
yeah.
there's this long period where like Sam Cedar wanted to debate Steven
Yeah,
Crowder, and he
yeah.
was just like, I'm not going to debate him because he's got too little viewers. And I bought a cameo from Anthony Scaramucci, and I wrote this whole script to get him to like shit on Crowder and get him to be like quipping a pussy and debate Sam Cedar. And Scaramucci read it like word for word, even though it was so obviously like, and it was like I wrote it like as a Guido, so he's just like, quit sucking your own cock and debate.
That's awesome.
And they're counting on journalism being dead. This one, the
Pretty
State
much
Department's
is, yeah.
the State Department's procurement forecast detailing
Oh.
a $400 million order for armored Teslas
She sounds like she's got a dick in her mouth. Like, no offense, she talks almost as bad as I do. Jesus Christ.
But she looks like she hasn't had a dick in her mouth in 20 years.
No, so I'm
I've
sure
never
she
had
bats
people
for the
say
other
armored
team.
electric.
Stop. God. I mean, Stuttering
I mean,
John
I hope
wasn't
so.
good
I
enough
mean,
for
her
this.
poor husband.
Oh, is that's the
That's
the
Stephanie
John
Miller from.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
Stephanie Miller that John got fired from for being a misogynistic pig and showing up to work and showing up drunk all the time. Oh, and getting and booking people that Stephanie didn't even know who they were.
I love your beat that you're kind of covering these like tougher political issues, but doing it in this like dabble lexicon. So you're
Yeah,
having, like
Well, yeah.
Yeah, try doing straight politics in the Dabbleverse, and no one, even though they're into it on Twitter, they're not really into it. So you got to kind of.
so weaning them in with like Stephanie.
You gotta tie,
Yeah.
you have to have your tie-ins. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
we-
it. I love it. I love
We've
that.
done stuff with Richard Ojeda, you know, Kumi, shit like that, trying to get
TYT,
in.
I think, just hired Richard Ojeda.
Oh,
Did they?
God.
Yeah, like they had a big subscription drop because of all this bullshit, and
Yeah.
now they just started promoting, hey, Richard Ojeda, and I was like, that's the guy from Stuttering John.
Oh my God. TYT has really gone downhill.
Oh,
It really
yeah.
has.
I haven't watched it in a while, but if you
you
have any political ideas at all and you're hiring Richard Ojeda, you're not in a good spot.
that's a bad look.
I've told you, man. They had him on. That's how I've known who he is for like 10 years because they used to have him on all the fucking, like as a guest when he was running for shit, you know. Like he ran, I told you, he ran for president 4 years ago and nobody knows.
That Richard Ojeda did?
Yeah.
On what
And
ticket?
He tried, was it? Yeah, he tried, he didn't even get on the fucking stand. I can't remember if he ran as an independent or a Dem. But yeah, he couldn't even get on there. But when he was running for Congress and shit like that, TYT would have him on all the time.
He's a
We,
jerk
Oh
off.
wait, so wait, I thought he's still running right now, right?
But I meant he ran when he lived in West Virginia. Now he lives.
Oh,
in
yeah,
North
yeah.
Carolina, I think. Yeah,
No, he did get into the Senate, right?
state
The
senate.
state,
Yeah,
state
but-
Senate, yeah.
state senate. Yeah,
And
but
then,
Currently-
like, what was it, like 6 months later, and then like 6 months later, like quit or whatever, or something like that.
it was. Yeah, we
That was
didn't.
He got
weird.
fired. He got fired for doing a virtual jury hearing like during the Senate. Sorry, I didn't do it. I didn't do it right. I didn't do it right.
I
what
know.
you meant.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. There. I know the
That's
direction you
right.
were going.
You can't hit him.
John. It turns out got fired for that. That's
Yes,
from his,
Did you hear those
from his
tapes?
teaching.
he
Yeah,
has
most
yeah.
of them. I haven't watched the last Rico yet. So
I did last night. It's it's kind of it's dark and gross.
yeah, I mean, what I've already heard is pretty wild. And then Shuli was saying that they saved the best for the final Rico last night, which I
Have
haven't
y'all-
watched yet.
Have y'all met John or talked to him on a broadcast or anything?
No,
So I tried getting on John's
Nick was
political
trying,
show.
yeah. Sorry.
I got partly doxxed by John. That's why I got to wear this stupid mask now and shit.
Are you really? That's shit.
Yeah, so, do you do you know DJ Dabbles? Like how they play his songs at the beginning of Uncle Rico?
I know the songs and think they're really well done, but I don't know anything about.
Okay,
the
so
person.
he makes songs out of shit John said or whatever, and they play a bunch of them at the beginning of Rico.
They're so good.
One of them is the first half of the song is John shitting on Clay Dabbler about what the fuck is it called? About going after the legend. And then the second half is from the episode where John bragged about doxing me and running me off of Twitter and YouTube for a little while.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it was bullshit. Like I wasn't trying to kiss John's ass. I was just trying to be real, and I was so close to getting on his show.
Trying to get in there.
Yeah,
yeah, they really did Nick dirty.
yeah, people backed me up, but there's the trolls that were like, "Oh, John, Nick said." There were people faking my account. That's why I should just be Mumbling Nick. I had to change it to OG Mumbling Nick because there were too many fake Mumbling Nick accounts pretending to be me,
There's some
like saying
freaks.
awful,
Yeah.
saying awful shit to John and all that shit. So yeah,
The first time I went in his show, like on Reddit, people already made accounts saying with the name Ava Raiza and we're just posting with that.
yeah. It's fucking crazy. Right before I got doxxed, I literally was one night just scrolling and Rob Saul's on when Rob has, he's not a big show, and there's someone pretending to be me, and their picture is a picture of my father. And I was like, what the fuck is going? My dead father. My father's been dead for like 15 years. So I
I'm
was like,
sorry. That's
Jesus.
horrible.
But
That's,
yeah.
that's fucked up.
Well, I left the Dabbleverse for a while, and I don't know, 6 weeks, and then I came back. And then John got.
Yeah, you can never leave for very long. There's always something comes up.
You know how it is, man. They got bored. The people doing that to me got bored, and they moved on to somebody else. So
Yeah,
That was brutal though. Putting
Yeah, it was
dad
bad.
picture. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, somebody called my wife and was like harassing my wife. It was fucked up. Yeah.
That was me. That was just because she owed me money.
and now you know why I use a VR avatar.
Yeah. So,
No,
Oh.
if you're gonna be the centrist, you need to fucking show your face because I need to.
No.
Why don't you
I
show your
will
face?
not.
Why?
That's why. I
ask
believe.
Nick.
Yeah. There's been enough happen to people. Yeah. I don't blame them.
I made this account several years ago when I was mostly interested in the sector, which is
The private
Ethan
sector.
no, the whole Ethan Ralph thing. It's where like Nick Arcata and stuff is
Oh,
part of
I'm
this.
not. I don't know what that is.
It's a different drama verse centered mostly around like Ethan Ralph and Nick Arcata.
Yeah, I know Ethan Ralph.
And
Yeah.
Dick Masterson, and there's a bunch of characters in that one. It's sort of like this, only it's more centered around like Ethan Ralph being a disgusting person.
Does he deliver?
No. Anyway, so in that area, like you could be swatted and doxxed just for being in a chat room of somebody that somebody decide they don't like. They'll get your information, they'll dox and swat you just for being a viewer.
So should I get a cartoon avatar?
Probably.
Okay.
But I made this account, Liquid Cryptid. Anytime you see Liquid Cryptid anywhere, it's probably me, and it has absolutely no identifiable information about me connected to it anywhere. I even go through a VPN when I'm on this account.
Well, I'm gonna be emailing John after this to get some deets on you.
Oh yeah, go for it.
John.
John doesn't know anything. John gets fed things from.
I got some guys.
Yeah.
I got guys.
Yep.
He's got guys.
I got
Well,
guys
no,
looking
dude.
into it.
So
I don't blame him for
I
quitting.
prefer
Dabble.
not to show my face.
I don't blame him for quitting the Dabbleverse after the Cape Mini tapes came out.
No.
Yeah, I haven't heard the good stuff yet, but
it made me like understand.
anyway, actually, I
You gonna bounce?
have to go.
All right, my friend.
I wonder what he's gonna do.
Oh, I'm going to beat off to you real quick, and then
No, not that.
then do some other stuff.
All right, Cryptid.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
We'll
Enjoy
see
the rest
what
of the night.
happens. Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we'll
See you
talk
next week,
again.
my friend.
All right. We'll see you.
I hope that I didn't upset him.
No, we usually don't go this long, so that's he.
Oh, do you
usually
need
don't-
do you need to call it?
No, I'm good. We can go a little longer if you want. I'm good. I got nothing going on.
It's up to you. I'll follow
Yeah.
your lead.
All right. We'll see how long we get in this video, or we can just we'll see how long we get in this video.
Okay.
Here we go.
Vehicles. The document shows the edit was made at 9:12 p.m. after it was highlighted in reports. So it's this is the thing. Like they think we can't see this theft in plain view, right? That Elon Musk is doing.
Alon.
Well, what they're counting on is for
Yeah. So what do you think of the whole Elon Doge situation, Ava?
When Donald Trump was running again, I had my own set of views of it. When Elon Musk got involved in the last month, that made me very upset and actually assessing what's going to happen in this country. I think he's a disgusting, revolting monster. I think I think you all were talking about his kid. I think that he is actually such a paranoid narcissist that he brings that kid around so he doesn't get shot in the head.
Yeah.
And
that's
if,
what
and
I
if you look at those exchanges with Ashley Sinclair, he's always talking to people around him in DMs about how he's the top security threat and he's the number one. And I truly believe he's using his kid to do that because he doesn't have the capacity to actually have real feelings of love towards his children that he created in labs. And I think the Doge thing is disgusting. Did you notice how he in that last meeting conveniently dropped it from 1 trillion to we've accomplished our goal of I think it was 150 or 250 billion. It's
Yeah.
just right. Is that how you feel about it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Number one, he has no business being here. I mean, he pretty much hacked into the fucking treasury. They,
He did.
kicked everyone out. I have no problem with cutting waste, but that's not what they seems like they're even doing. Like I remember when they cut the the USAID.
Mhm.
You're watching all the people that got laid off. It looks like housewives. It looks like they're trying to get aid to AIDS people with AIDS in Africa and shit like that. They're doing good work, and you're cutting them. Yeah, go on.
Just to get to relate with you, it's like
Yep.
that. Like to me, brings up like the most upsetting thing about the Trump thing, and in that for people that were economic leftist populists, the 2016 Bernie campaign was like the closest we've ever gotten to actually defeating
Yeah.
characters like Nancy Pelosi and people like that. And because Trump won, it's given this the Democratic Party this permission structure to just be, not have any growth and just be disgusting and just say, well, look at Trump. And I think that it's the same thing in this era. And in this Doge thing where it's like, I don't think anyone disagrees with removing waste, and
Right.
we are put I think we probably feel the same way. We're put in a position where we have to like side with parts of the Democratic Party that are, defending parts of U.S. aid that we would normally be critical of that are pertaining to like our foreign policy and like domineering of other countries and stealing their resources, and so we have to take their side because the other option is Doge. And like them, you know what I mean? That's one of the most grossest undercurrents of it. But yeah, he's a revolting figure, and Doge is bullshit.
Yeah, like I've even said one of the worst things about Trump is it makes it so the Democrats don't have to get any better.
Yep.
He does all this garbage, so then in the midterms, people are just going to vote Democrat because Trump's so bad. So the Democrats don't have to improve. They don't have to, help out the working class, the poor. They don't have to do any of that shit. They just have to not be Trump. And
that's what was like for me, like his election win. I'd gone to Europe for the first time right after he won, and my assessment in my life was like, that is that what we're talking about. It's that like him winning means that it's going to take that long to get to the place where the Democratic Party then has to be repaired after his second term.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I want to spend this time in America?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Not like in that like reactionary way, but just like if you're like a trans person and they're just doing that, and
yeah,
like why not live somewhere where that's happening?
I can't imagine. So do you know
not to say I'm a victim. I live in Portland, so
no.
Yeah.
Do you know the show Trainwreck that used to kind of be in the Dabbleverse with the two trans women?
No,
okay. So Carl kind of discovered them on WATP. It's these two elderly trans women, and they're funny as shit. And I used to participate in their show. There was a political roundtable like last year, and they were in it. I was in it. And their producer was kind of like MAGA, so it was kind of weird. But they would try to tell him like, "Hey, Trump is he doesn't want me to exist." And he's like, and the producer were like, "No." And well, look, Trump doesn't want trans people to even exist. Like, they pretty much got rid of that as a gender that the government even recognizes. And I can't imagine what it's like, being you or people like that. I can't even imagine. Where I've lucked out is I'm a white heterosexual male. I don't have any, nothing discriminating against me that happens with you. So I can't even imagine you very hard.
It's I'm fine because I live here and I'd never deal with any
shit like that.
No one has ever, and the only other place
awesome.
I've really been is Europe, and no one gave me any shit there.
Shit.
But do you think that he and his core has those views about trans
Trump?
people, or do you think that it's just a political win kind of calculation thing?
So first, good night, Ridden Asylum. One of the most loyal viewer we have, probably.
I hope I didn't upset
No. He's going to, like I said, we usually don't run this late. So, ironically, I've said this before. I actually don't think Trump is in his heart transphobic. If I recall,
me neither.
Yeah, I think he even he allowed a trans woman in one of his pageants back in the day.
Yeah.
Before this was even an issue. So, no, I think it's just one of his things he pushes because that's, it gets him somewhere. Kind of like build the wall and drain the swamp. It's one of those fucking things to him.
100%. I tried to say this to John, but it's like hard to say anything to John.
Yeah.
But I was trying to make that point. I was like, I think he just like did a temperature check at his rallies and like people like fuck
Right.
trans people, and he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, yeah, famously he said build the wall at one rally and they went nuts, so he just started fucking saying it. He didn't really mean it. I know what it's like with John. You see in the brief interaction we've had, you kind of get a feel for what I am. John was convinced I was MAGA because I would like comment on his show and criticize the Biden for taking money for this or Pelosi for that. And so he thought I was MAGA just because I criticized the Democrats, and I'd be like, John, I'm not MAGA,
Oh, he's an imbecile. Like his political analysis is just so unsophisticated. He has absolutely no retention for any of the things he shares on Twitter. He has no concept of government. He doesn't know why. The only reason he's a Democrat is because like it's a team to him. In the same way, everything in life is a team, right?
How do you? This is actually how Liquid Cryptid and I even kind of met. I think he tweeted one time. Every time John would call me MAGA, Liquid Cryptid would like tweet like a LOL or fucking emoji to me because it was like everyone knew I wasn't, but just because if you criticize Democrats, you must be fucking MAGA.
I know that's
I
went through that because when I moved back to South Carolina, is like there was no way to like talk about Trump without people like, and saying you endorse Hillary Clinton, and it's just kind of like no, I hate both of them.
Right, yeah. Do you how do you think John feels about his oldest child? I almost feel like he uses. I'm sure he loves his child. I'm never going to say someone doesn't love their children, but almost like he treats the trans thing as like it's happening to him and not happening to her. So it's something he has to deal with. I didn't know if you felt that way talking to him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's like I'm a nerd about psychology. Is what I'm doing a master's in, and
awesome.
I mean, he's classic. I mean, he's like, and they talk about it on these shows, which is what I loved about the dimension of Adam Bush being incorporated into the analysis. Is like he's like an NPD case. He doesn't have the capacity, which you can use to defend him ethically, of feeling love. Like everything is just a win or a loss, and like, and you know this. So I don't think he has the ability to know what love for a child feels like. When I first went on his show, his despite Carl thinking that I didn't know what was going on, I knew that I was part of this agenda that he had to use me, specifically what he wanted. He had me on because he wanted me to contact GLAAD and these LGBTQ agencies to sue Kumia and get his videos taken down. When it really came down to it, none of the times he discussed it with me, and he was mad at me and didn't talk to me after that, because the only thing he ever sent to me on email after that first appearance was like, so did you contact GLAAD? and it had nothing to do with his kids. He just wanted them to take down Anthony's video, and the sense I got was that there isn't a relationship, and I don't think his kids talk to him.
I don't. The reason I kind of know John, I don't think he cares, is I remember I got in an argument on Twitter with one of his buddies. Me and that person have since made up, so I don't want to drag his name through the mud. But
what's his name?
Well, he was a baseball player, so people will
Lenny Dykstra.
No, Lenny. But
Roger Clemens.
Someone asked, good old Roger. Someone posted on X like on Father's Day about like what it's like having a gay child, and this person said, I could never have a gay child. I'm top of the food chain. So they're like, oh, well, if you had a gay child, would you be upset? And they were like, yes. So I got into it with this guy, and then John's like, you're fighting with my friend. I'm like, well, John, look at what he said. And John,
like, well, it's my friend. He's on my team.
Yeah, he didn't care. So I'm like, all right, dude. Obviously, it's not, you don't care nearly as much about this LGBTQ kid thing as you claim you care about, because this guy, by the way, this was one of those guys that was giving John $50, $100 super chats. Yeah. So it was one of his, his pay pigs at the time, so he could say whatever he wanted, But me
I
giving
think
my $2 couldn't. Yeah.
you know what I wish like me and you could just talk to John about. I think like in trying to understand John and his political trajectory, like imagine being him during that lead up to the elections this last year, where you have Joe Biden, who John wears T-shirts of, which I don't think anyone else in the universe has a Joe, but like who
No
likes
kidding.
Joe Biden?
Right.
No one
Right.
likes Joe Biden,
Nobody.
and um. So imagine John's brain. So you have Biden comes up, does a disastrous debate, and then there's political infighting. So it's like you have his team, but like Nancy Pelosi is saying Biden bad, and then and then all these people are disagreeing within the party and like trying to actually do government and like resolve this like dilemma that they created themselves. But like up until and then imagine like the conversation about should we have a jungle primary and do this now? And then what about Kamala Harris? Imagine John trying to navigate that in his stupid head. Like he's like, they're all we're on the same team. Like what? I don't know. And like that's why he first was like I can't do the show. I don't even I can't think. I won't. No, I won't think. So, blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. Like another reason John thought I was MAGA is I'd be like, hey, these Democrats, they gotta get Biden out. He doesn't know where the fuck he is. He's not going to be able to win. And oh my God, Biden's fine, blah blah blah. And I think they were in the middle of one of their shows when all of a sudden it was announced that Harris was taking over, and they're like in the middle of saying that Biden is cognitively fine, and then they got to do like a 180, and it's like you guys
Wait,
don't really.
what video is this? This is
Uh,
with John in it?
Yeah, John was doing one of his political shows with Ojeda and Karem.
Will you please send that to me when you
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. Yeah, I believe
we should
they
watch
were,
that together.
I guarantee. Yeah, Rico probably has it because I know John took his shit down, but they usually don't cover his political shit. But I guarantee you they covered that. So
I
I'll
wish
hunt
I
it
could.
down.
Yeah, I wish we could ask him about that. Like, so
I
what do you
know.
think about Nancy Pelosi's
Well,
decision to turn on Biden for Kamala?
It's like, yeah, he doesn't know anything. It's so
He really
bad. He doesn't know anything. And I don't pretend to be a G. I actually used to know more because I used to be like all into it. But I'm still into it. But working 2 jobs, family, it's not as easy to keep up with everything. But I have the general knowledge. I know how government actually works. With the fucking donations and all that shit. John doesn't know. He doesn't understand the bribery and like how there'll be like a bill where it's like Democrats and Republicans will work together to make sure it doesn't pass. Like, oh, this Republican needs to vote with the Democrats because it has something to do with their district. So we'll get these 3 Democrats to vote against it so it doesn't pass. He doesn't understand that they do shit like that.
No, and it's like I'm a nerd about that stuff, but like it's never occurred to me to have the gall to have a show about politics. He had a show.
Right.
Like I would be so nervous about doing the show because I would be like, I need to know. Oh, there's so many. Like he doesn't even just he doesn't understand the concept of like just contributions.
Yeah. He just finds these clips from like MSNBC or CNN on X, and he just preps those, and he plays them. Then he's like, Brian, what do you think of that? Or Richard, what do you think of that? Then he lets them talk.
And not to just. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on. I was pretty done. I was done.
And not to disparage Trump supporters, but John, like spiritually, is the embodiment of like what that frame of thinking is of a Trump. He should be a Trump supporter. Like
so
literally the way he
Yeah.
looks at everything is the exact same way Trump looks at everything. It's like transactional, and it's just like it's so weird.
It was funny. I used to write a political blog, and I had like 3,000 followers at its height, and people would some of my hardcore supporters would tell me to start a YouTube channel. I'm like, man, I can't. I got a Boston accent. I mumble. I'm not well spoken enough. Much better.
No, you're
at
good.
writing.
You're good. You
Yeah.
don't mumble.
So then I stumbled upon the Dabbleverse, and I'm like, oh shit, John can't talk. Joe, there's a bunch of people that can't talk in this.
They can't do a show. They can't
Yeah,
podcast.
right. So
we all like love Howard. Like we're all students of Howard. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's in my like. I can imagine like how hard it is for people actually like having that ingrained in your head of like, am I being boring every sec? I have that just as from watching
Right.
Howard, and like no one seems to have learned those lessons of just like what's the point?
Absolutely. So I stumbled upon John's, I'm like, political show, and I saw how they were being, and I've known about Ojeda for years, and I'm like, oh, I got to try and get on this thing because this is what the Dabbleverse thinks the left is. You know what I mean? These three arrogant, blue no matter who, pompous Democrats who just like, I'm not a fan of Trump supporters, but if you just shit on them and insult them, you're never gonna get them to change their fucking minds. You know what I mean?
People need to understand like Trump supporters, and I get annoyed when I would be annoyed by the point I'm about to make, you know, like 30% of the time if I heard it. But it's just like I grew up in South Carolina when 9/11 happened. I started everyone I was like this person I was in a band and people all hung out with, and then when that happened, everyone just looked at me like a monster and an alien. But there are these like football players and wrestlers that I went to high school with that were like the cool kids that like just liked my band, and they would beat the living shit out of people that would attack me on a racial level. And those people that turned out to be Trump supporters, like all, the ones that I still see on social media, and
Yeah.
I know that they did that for me. And I never forget that. And
Right.
which is one of the things that's annoying about Anna Kasparian and Cenk now is that they're just suddenly realizing that people that are conservative or Trump supporters like might not be like, you know, good people. It's like you just
Yeah.
realize that you've been you're like Anna's like literally just a couple years older than me, and it's just like you should wait. You're just learning that, and she's just brushed by like that, and no one. I want to call her out about that so bad, but she's blocked me
Oh,
on.
gee.
But
Hey, that's
but
awesome. She knows who you are. That's great.
I know. I really want to yell at her because it's just like, wait, what? You just realized that there's Trump supporters that are like good people, and it's just because her boyfriend like bummed her out that day because like he didn't help her move, and like some Trump supporter helped her move, which is such a interesting thing that and just and then that made her become the way she is, and she's like, yeah, Trump people are fine. It's like, well, you're a fucking retard.
Yeah. Right. You get
So-
the I mean, I get Trump supporters in my family, mostly my wife's family, but yeah, they do anything for our kids. It's like they're not yeah, we have some tense discussions about things, but they're
It's
not
getting harder
terrible people.
to make
Yeah,
the point
it
I
is.
just made, but
No,
but
yeah.
initially, at least, like, you know,
Right.
first draft Trump supporters, it's just like, yeah, like, what? You don't
No.
realize that there's good people in that group.
Yeah, I mean, you got there's some hardcore ones. There's nothing you're gonna be able to say. You know, you can't get through to them, but there's some that you hopefully can. And
Have you
just
tried to talk? Okay, I'm sorry.
oh, go on. No, ask
I
away.
have
Ask
so
away.
much I could talk to you about, so
Yeah,
you have to tell me to
absolutely.
shut up whenever.
Nope. Ask
Have
away.
you engaged on the tariff question with the people that you know in your life that are Trump supporters?
Yeah. God, well, getting too personal. I know my
With unless it's I don't want to get personal.
no. I was gonna say I know my wife had it out with some people in her family. So, but vaguely, yeah, it's they think he has this master plan. The people I talk to,
The
that
5D chess argument.
yeah, they think he's got this great plan, and just sit tight, you know. And I I don't with the tariffs. I've gone back and forth. Part of me thinks he's doing it so certain industries or companies will come kiss his ring and he'll lift tariff. Like I remember, like when he did it on farmers, like the first time he lifted, you know, or gave them subsidies and stuff like that. So I think part of it's to get his ass kissed. Part of it's to lower the market so him and his rich buddies can.
That's
you know,
all just your
yeah.
rational brain trying to make sense
Yeah,
of something.
right. But or is he just an idiot? Or is
Yes,
he
he
crazy?
really.
Yeah, right.
I like when I transitioned and started HRT, like I lost this thing that I used to have where I would just argue with people and all that, and I lost the value, and I just have this very peaceful experience, and I've never argued with anyone on Facebook until the tariff thing, because to me it was just like no. Where it's just like because when you look at the chart, it's like that's trade deficits. That's not tariffs.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
trade deficits. Whatever you're going to say he did, you're going to have to defend that. That means that he took that chart out and lied to you and said this is the tariffs and this is the reciprocal tariffs, when those are not the accurate calculations for tariffs. Those are trade deficits. There's a big difference. And I feel like something happened where after 40 years, he finally learned what a tariff was that weekend. And then he started to think trade deficits. He finally learned because the stock markets crashed and was like, you're an asshole.
Yes.
And then yeah, it's we had to we as a country had to just deal with him not refusing to learn that and it taking global like trillions of dollars and putting people's like 401ks at risk.
Do you know Breaking Points with Crystal Ball and Sagar? I don't know if you know that
I watch
show.
it every morning.
Okay. I'm pretty sure Sagar was the one who said he came up with those exact calculations by going in the chat GPT and saying, what is the easiest way to calculate blah, 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 blah. And it's almost like, yeah, that's what Trump did because he had that whatever in McDonald, that islands that just have penguins on it. They don't even have people, and he's putting them on the chart,
I like as much as a fucking worm as he is, which Sagar is a worm too,
Yeah.
but I love him. But he's a fascist worm. But Ben Shapiro did you see any of it? Ben Shapiro just did a series of episodes during that where he just really broke it down because like you could, in the sense that it's like I'm gonna watch Ben Shapiro talk about this because Ben Shapiro has an agenda. He wants his idiot audience to actually understand what's going on.
Right.
And so he explains everything even more in depth without even having to get into the penguin thing where he's just like, guys, this is actually this stupid. Like he's like he really just he doesn't know what it means, and he did. And like so there's these really good Ben Shapiro ones too.
What I love about Crystal and Sagar, it seems like Crystal wears the pants in that duo. It's like she never lets Sagar get away with his fucking bullshit.
She's great. I think Crystal, not to bring 2IT up again, but like I feel like they don't realize, even though they've been on Cheng's been on Breaking Points, it's like it's almost as if they don't realize Breaking Points has kind of been existing this whole time because what they're trying to say they're gonna do now that no one else is doing is what Breaking Points has been doing this whole time, is bringing a populist like message to it. Yeah. And Crystal has the ability, like if you look at their comment sections, you know this, half of the people are like, you're a stupid cunt bitch every single time. She doesn't like throw a temper tantrum.
Nope.
She doesn't like lash out and then like just change her views on policy or politics. She like just does the fucking show every day, and like in a mature, like she like there's such a value to Breaking Points because like outside of like they're in this world of like shows like Majority Report, who I love, and these others, but like they also do serve a journalistic function because they clearly take journalism seriously. And Sagar, as much of a douchebag as he is, he's a credible journalist that does that job well. He's like book smart and a good journalist. His analysis is like a 2-year-old, but when they're doing reporting, and Crystal has done that this whole time. She does these debates. She's polite. She never just sounds crazy, and she just argues the points. And it's really annoying that Anna stumbling with that and hanging out with Megan Kelly. Like Crystal Ball isn't like going on Glenn Beck and bitching about the left. She's just doing reporting from a left populist perspective.
Yeah, whenever no. I couldn't agree more. Whenever I have to recommend, like out of all those shows that I watch, and you probably watch too, that's the one I always recommend to people because I'm like, look, it doesn't matter if you're a lefty or righty, you're gonna get something out of it, and they're gonna tell you the truth when it comes to the corruption and the all the bullshit. It's not, you're not just gonna have two sides, but someone's kissing the Republicans' ass, someone's kissing the Democrats' ass. They're gonna go after both sides.
That show is it's a great primer because I know I'll apologize for interrupting you.
No.
But before I lose my train of thought, like that they're a great primer. That show is very great because of what you're saying, and also they're very talented journalists and talented broadcasters that do a tight, well executed show, and they have really important debates and conversations, and you can trust them both to not be like Sagar will kind of throw a tantrum sometimes, but it never takes him off course of what his core ideology is, which I disagree with. Whereas with like Cheng and Anna or something, it's like I don't trust what you're saying right now because I know that you're made a prediction or you like were betting on some bullshit like this. They just do a tight show where they're amazing broadcasters and they're good editors and they have great conversations. That's a really rare thing.
Yeah, and I was very excited when they brought Ryan Grimm on too because he's one of my
I love Ryan Grimm.
Yeah, so I was talking about him earlier in the show.
He's great.
Yeah, I was telling Liquid Crypto, I was trying to think of another concept for another episode. And I remember that Ryan Grimm was the one that kind of helped break the Brett Kavanaugh story with Dr. Ford, and the Democrats all loved him and backed him. But then when he was pushing he kind of helped break the
COVID
Tara Reid,
Biden
Joe
stuff.
Biden story, and all of a sudden the Democrats are shitting on him, and it's like, well, it's the same fucking reporter, you know what I mean?
And he experimented with like challenging the COVID narrative too in a way that
Yeah. No, I love him, man.
yeah, but I think by the point he was doing that though, I think everyone was privately like, what about COVID or about I'm not taking a stance outside of just when he said that it wasn't as controversial as when he did the Reed stuff.
Yeah.
Did you see the Douglas Murray, Joe Rogan, Dave Smith, Israel debate?
So I've seen clips, but I haven't watched the whole thing yet. Yeah. It was sounds like he got put in his place or yeah. So how do you are you I take it, I'm not going to take it, but I hope I shouldn't even say I hope. I don't want to are you more pro Palestine than Israel? Or let me just well, how do you feel on the subject? I'll just put it like that.
I'm
because it's tough.
It's not tough. It's not
okay.
tough for me. But because of the disinformation that people like Douglas Murray propagate, where they try to create this narrative that there's like unanimous consent about very like fringe ideas, like the most extreme people, that the idea that everyone supports Hamas or whatever.
Right.
With having to do that work, I will say that, but there's no, when you start defending this amount of civilian deaths, you have the burden is on you. That's not to say anything about it. Let me say it this way. When you start defending this amount of civilian deaths, the burden is on you, and you cannot just keep using the human shields argument. One of the things that Dave Smith, he used the libertarian argument to which he was like nervous about, to challenge Douglas Murray in that, which was that if somebody came and killed my wife and then I went to their house and blew up the whole apartment building, I would go to jail. And I think that's like a strong way to zoom out from all of the propaganda that we're inundated with about this issue. There was a blockade. There's clearly like a genocide happening. We can flirt with whatever words. The bottom line is that when people talk about Hamas and the elections in Palestine, it's very clear that they haven't had an election in a very long time. That's not their fault completely, in that so many people are dead that even voted in those elections. The majority of people never had anything to do with those elections. And there's arguments to be made about Benjamin Netanyahu benefiting from Hamas and being on the record saying that. And I won't say anything further than that because I don't want to be clumsy on this issue, but it's, to me, I'm sorry, but it's like, I don't accept the idea that the United Nations and all these human rights organizations are all like conspiring out of anti-Semitism. And I'm sorry, those same organizations were talking about the Iraq War, and they were right about that. That's that. I mean, you can't ask people to deny what they see with their lying eyes and ears. In my view, but I do think that I don't know how to navigate the way to, like, I think it's assumed when you really talk to people, anyone that's really out there protesting what the United Nations are saying, there's like no lack of empathy or like anti-Semitism about it. And so it's like hard to, like, I haven't figured out broadcasting, and this is my first time talking about it, like how you do that. And I don't think there's a way to do that, because the other side of the people that are countering all of these accusations of genocide or ethnic cleansing do it in such a disingenuous way. Like Douglas Murray did it in such a disingenuous way. To me, there's something you should watch, and I'd love to talk to you about it. I'd love to watch the whole episode with you if you ever want to do it. Like,
That'd be awesome.
there's something very, very, very telling. Like, Douglas Murray is like a Sam Harris, IDW level person, and he hasn't put himself in a position where he has to like defend his views about this in a long form like that, where he is submissive to Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan is like, whatever. But we can
Joe.
deal with that another time. But it made him have to kind of be fair, like not do clickbait and just like deal with what Dave Smith was saying. Dave Smith, a libertarian who I disagree with about so many things.
Yeah.
And the most telling thing that I would ask everyone if they watch that to listen for is Joe Rogan asks him, one of the few times Joe Rogan interrupts, is to say, why do you think that is about why are people protesting? Because Douglas was framing it in a very like generalized way where everyone supports Hamas, and he's like, well, why is that? The fact that Douglas Murray was not able to like accurately characterize what really is the message that the UN says, that all these, if you really do your work on this, listen to those protest movements, listen to Hamid, is that his name? Hamid, I'm drawing a blank, who's getting deported. When you listen to all the leaders in that, no, there's a very clear message that's being put out about the atrocities there, and none of it is like this parody pro Hamas bullshit.
Right.
Like when Douglas Murray is put on the spot to answer that question, he never accurately explains what the counter argument is to what he's saying. He like, and to me that shows cowardice or an active deception. He's a fucking monster. He's like we don't have the ability to like talk about racism anymore because it's been ruined by everyone. But one of the tragedies of that is like that it's hard for me to just feel comfortable right now saying this man is a race. This man has a you can just tell this man is a bloodthirsty, disgusted, and Sam Harris has this view of
100%.
Muslims.
Yeah.
He really hates Muslims. And like I don't say that, I don't use those words recklessly, but that guy, if you follow, like and so you see it, he cannot empathize with Palestinians. He cannot do it because he's like race. He's just,
I would put Bill Maher in that group too. It's awful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bill Maher's a goddamn loser. I didn't see the new episode of Real Time. I haven't.
Yeah. It's bad. I actually made a video like early this morning on just his 12-minute thing talking about his meeting with Trump. It was so disgusting.
He had Bannon on, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
and Bannon all but said Trump is going to run a third term. He said more than once on the afternoon of January 20th. What year will it be? 2028, whatever it is. Donald Trump will be president. He's saying he's running a third term. We're looking at ways to do it, and he's going to be president a third time. So it's fucking whacked. But yeah, when you watch it, Bill Maher he pretty much Trump fooled him, and he gave Bill access. He laughed at Bill's jokes, so now Bill's like, oh yeah, I hated that guy for years, and this is just
he makes me sick.
Yeah, this is just it. But yeah, I can't stand the when it comes to Palestine, they love to like, if you defend, you're like, hey, you guys are killing 90%, whatever the fuck it is, civilians, 95% civilians. They act like you're pro Hamas. And it's like, no. And it's like, well, you blew up a school. And it's like, well, Hamas likes to hide in schools. I used to be like, okay, so if some hostage group takes an American school hostage, we're just going to fucking blow up the school to kill them. It's like, that's exactly what they're doing. And
like the intellectual class of that, like Doug Murray made, to add to what you're saying, because I just have nothing to add to that. Yes. Like Douglas Murray made a mistake by going onto Rogan in that people like them don't have to answer for this. But and to add to what you're saying, that we have, because of technology and when this war started, we have a timeline of the statements that were made about what's going on and what they're going to do and not do, like for years. And each time when we all were gaslit, or when whoever would try to talk about what's happening, when whoever would try to guess what's going to happen, we're always gaslit and called, anti-Semites. And we know that they were lying. Like,
right.
Like there's so, and yeah, it's very, and when you I mean, you watched even those like most like base low. I'm guilty of watching Piers Morgan like on the same level. To me, I love that how gossipy and gross it is.
Yeah.
But those debates, it's like whenever like someone is pro-Israel, like they're so like they're just so out of line. Like Rabbi, do you ever see Rabbi
Yeah,
Shmuley?
I
That
was just gonna bring
fucking
him up. Oh my
that
god.
that guy's a Chester. Let me tell you
Oh
something.
my
Right?
god.
He's
Yeah,
gross.
he's fucking. He's a
He's
whack.
he's.
Yeah.
Do you think it's
Isn't his
do you,
daughter like something? I'm trying to remember what his daughter
William?
did.
Him and his daughter
Yeah.
have a dildo company.
That's what it is. Yeah. It's fucking.
That's weird. I'm sorry.
Which
I'm
is
sorry.
like, yeah,
That's
no, it is.
weird. And he
It's
looks
weird.
coked
Right.
up as fuck.
Ah,
It's like, are you? Do you think he's like on coke? Like, what's going on there?
I don't know. He's so performative. Every time he's on, he does these fucking rants and he makes you agree with Cenk. That's how bad he is, because I've seen him and Cenk go at it a bunch of times, and it's
I
like,
totally know
Jesus
what you're
Christ.
saying, and
Yeah, it's like,
I've reckoned with that. It's like, yeah, I gotta go Cenk on that one.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
god. Yeah.
Cenk really slaughtered him on one about the dildo thing with his
Yeah.
daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, you got. I mean, even like you. I'm not a Dave Smith guy at all, but I'm gonna watch this, and I'm sure from everything I heard, I'm gonna agree with him on it. So
It's
um,
fascinating. It's fascinating, one, if you're just a media connoisseur in terms of what Joe Rogan is, what Joe Rogan means, and what Joe Rogan does on his show. In that, like, the first, like, it's supposed to be kind of about Israel and all that, but Douglas Murray for the first 40 minutes just chooses to like chastise Joe Rogan about his show and platforming fringe ideas and not having experts on, which like literally contradicts the whole anti-woke thing. It's like you're
yeah,
making these woke arguments right now, and you
right.
don't even realize it, and it triggers Joe. And so Joe is like oddly very, he picks his moments, but he's like mad and like he just gets him in line, but you can tell he's like fuck you to Douglas Murray. Yeah, it's fascinating. When you watch that, definitely let me know, and I'll talk to you about it forever.
Awesome. Oh man.
Is it late
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, it's like 11 o'clock here, so I'm probably gonna wrap it up. I got work in the morning, but I thank you so much, Ava.
Thanks for having me so much. It's so nice to talk to you.
You
You're
too.
somebody I could just drink beers with and
Yeah.
talk to at a bar. Yeah, for hours.
So after this, if it's okay, I'm gonna DM you my email address, and I don't know if email is the easiest way to get a hold of you, but after I watch that, emails okay. I will send you my email address. Just email me back whatever yours is, and after I watch that at your earliest convenience, I'd love to have you on to talk about it.
Oh, if you want to do that,
yeah.
If you ever want to do that, or if you ever want to talk about Eric and Brett Weinstein, I can go off for hours about them. I don't know if you're on that beat, but if not, then yeah, if you want to talk about the Douglas Murray Rogan, and if I ever say if I don't do it, don't that's because it's because I'm nervous and I feel like I won't do a good job.
No,
So
number
but
one,
but just definitely let me know the next time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I know this is the last, like the whole concept we're trying to do is we're just two fucking regular Dabbleverse guys who are political nerds like yourself. We're not, well spoken. We're not journalists.
Yes, you are.
Not,
No, you both are very good and interesting. I love you both.
Thank you.
You both are good. You both are good.
And I'm very happy that I was able to get you on before Luigi Greenberg, who just assumed you were coming on his show. If you remember.
Oh, there's a lot of weird people. Like,
I'm friendly with Luigi, but yeah, I was busting his balls about that. I'm like, man, you can't advertise her. She didn't.
Well,
agree
the
to
amount
come
of
on.
like an effort they put into it, it's just like you don't really even know. Like with me and you, we kind of discussed like things we're interested in, but other people, it's like, why do you? It was creepy, but yeah, but if you're saying they're nice, they're nice. But I don't know. I was nervous. It's scary to
100%. Yeah, I'm not trying to accuse anyone of anything, but you know,
I did.
I wanted to have you on because I found the political part you got to talk about with John, I found it fascinating. I love politics, so I just wanted to talk to you about that stuff. I didn't want to,
I feel more comfortable now. I was nervous at first, but we'll definitely have more conversations. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Ava.
And I hope your viewers weren't annoyed by me. If they were, tell me. And
everyone loves you here in the Dabbleverse. Everyone loves you in the Dabbleverse. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ava.
Somebody with a mass accent, by the way. Like, I miss that so much.
Well, I'm glad I could help with that.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ava. Have a good night. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ava Raiza, thank you, Liquid Cryptid. For my co-host, we will getting tired. I'm just gonna end it now. That was awesome. For those who don't know, I reached out to Ava the first time the day after she was on John's show. I think she was on a Sunday. I reached out to her publicly on X, not privately, on and was hoping to have her on. She said that sounded great. So I just DM'd her, tried explaining who I was, what the show was, because people, you get nervous in the Dabbleverse. You don't know if you're being set up for something or whatever. But yeah, we were trying to do it that weekend. She just wasn't sure if she was going to be able to. She would let me know if she could, and she was unable to, which was totally fine. Then today I was just like, you know what? I'll just send her a DM and I'll send her the link if she's able to come on. Great. And I looked down and halfway through the show, there she was. So what a great surprise. God, she's so. I know she doesn't think it, but she's very well spoken when she comes to politics. Like the way she concepts her ideas, it's very interesting. It's very unique, and you can tell she knows a lot. She reminds me of myself, where I think she knows more than me. I'm just saying that it's when you're trying to think of things on the fly, sometimes things get jumbled in my brain, and I see her working things out, but it always comes out fine. You can tell she's working it out in her head, but she always says it beautifully, which is more than I can say. I try and work things out in my head, and I don't know what the fuck's gonna come out. But yeah, I'm sure I can speak for Liquid Cryptid that we can't wait to have her on again. That was great. Anyway, yeah, I'll just end it. Well, sorry, Brian, we didn't get a chance to finish your video. Before I never got around to it, but I found the DJ Dabble songs that John talks about. So I just put it like more than halfway through. This is the song where John's like, baseball, and I like baseball, and he's bitching at Clay for what he did. But this last part, this was John on the show after he doxed me or whatever, where he was bragging about booting me off. This was all about me, this wife names, kids name, fucking bullshit.
Talking about baseball, and I love baseball. Not only do I know his last name, where he lives, wife's name, kid's name, and everything else. That's right. Not only do I know his last name, where he lives, wife's name, kid's name, and everything, but he's gone. Twitter account gone. YouTube gone. Don't cross the do. Apply. Buy sign. That's right. Twitter account gone. YouTube gone. Don't cross the do. Apply. Buy sign. That's what happens when you fuck with karma. Actions.
So yeah, the old actions have reactions. I have to appreciate DJ Devils for what's the term? I can't remember. But yeah, just in perpetuity, I will be there. I am in a song, in a Dabbleverse classic. Clay and I. Clay gets the first half, I get the second half. All right, that's enough. Thank you once again to my co-host Liquid Cryptid. Thank you, Ava, for jumping in. We had a blast. Can't wait to have her on again. I'm gonna go watch Dave Smith and Joe Rogan and everything, and I'll watch that video that I've heard so much about, and we'll have her on again, and hopefully we can talk about other things too. That was great. She seems to have a ton of knowledge up there, a ton of knowledge. All right, thanks guys. Peace out.
Democrat. controversial stuff. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here, and I see K mumbling is right here. People in the house, put them hands in the air, cause if you don't vote, then we don't care. 1, 2, 3 times 2 to the 6. Jonesing for your fix of that dabble politics mix. And where the fudge you at, punk? Shut the fudge up and back the fudge up while we fudge this track up. On your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up. Retort in, now retort out. Hands up now, hands down. Back up, tell me what you're gonna touch now. Republicans in now, Democrats out. Guns up now, hands down. Black up, tell me what you're gonna vote now. Dabbling, 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 dabbling. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. Come on. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. 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 You wanna mess with dabbling in politics? You can't mess with dabbling in politics. Listen, we debate it all every week Saturday night, and this YouTube thing right here. Yo, we're doing it all the time, so you better get some better views and get saved up on your dime. So we got the gang set, so don't complain yet. 24/7, never begging for a rain check. Old school dabblers blasting out the political shit. The back and forth shit, put bounce in the dabble pit. On your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up. Retort in, now retort out. Hands up now, hands down. Back up, tell me what you're gonna touch now. Republicans in now, Democrats out. Guns up now, hands down. Black up, tell me what you're gonna vote now. Dabbling, 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 dabbling. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. Come on. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling.